All right. Hello, everybody. 1 second. Let me know if there's any background noise with my mic going on. I'm trying to fix it at the moment, but I don't know. It's like my noise gate just decided to not work suddenly. So if you're hearing like my fan in the background, let me know. I'll try to like quickly fix it, but I do apologize about it. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here, even on this horrific Bulls game that we just all witnessed. But yeah, not great at all, guys. 22 turnovers apparently. I don't even know if that's correct. I feel like the Bulls had more. No, actually, they say 22. Okay, yeah. What a horrific game that was. Yeah, want to puke in my mouth for a good amount of that game. Bulls have a turnover issue, obviously, in this one. Not too surprising overall. It's going on Britt, Zay over. Sounds good. Thank you. Start Matas. I don't know if I'm necessarily just going to put Matas in the starting lineup just yet. I'm happy that he was playing. I'm very, very happy that Matas was playing. But I like I said, 25 games. You got to give it 25 games before I would personally make some major decision. And reminder that Buzelis also recently just had a DNP CD. So I don't think starting him would be the smartest decision in the world. He'd be kind of out there just to get wrecked on. But he needs to play. I do think that Buzelis needs to play, and happy that Billy put him out there pretty early compared to the last game. So really good to see that Buzelis got a lot of minutes tonight, even when the game was still like, in flux, right? It wasn't like, oh, he only got garbage minutes tonight. Like, he got a lot of garbage minutes tonight, but he was the first sub in for Billy. So good move by Donovan overall to do that. Okay, before we even get into the box score, which is going to look extremely ugly tonight. Oh my God, bro. I was not happy with how some things happened tonight, but I won't be too critical. So turnover is obviously a big issue. It's not that still yet again, I'm not shocked by this. When you don't really have like the greatest ball handler in the world at your point guard position, and then you have a bunch of young guys trying to learn how to be good decision makers with the basketball, and you're playing faster, you're gonna get a lot of turnovers. Now, I will say though, I think a lot of these turnovers tonight were inexcusable and unforced. That to me is unacceptable, and the Bulls need to start looking into that a little bit more. The guys need to develop a little bit quicker in terms of making the best decisions. A lot of live ball turnovers tonight were pretty horrific and inexcusable in my head. So that's something that needs to get looked into. I know it is only game 8, but we're talking about some players here that are going into either their 4th season or their 5th season or their 3rd season. It's not like they're all rookies. Like, it's not like it's all Buzelis. It's not like 5 Buzelises are out there making these turnovers. We got some guys here that we, quote unquote, trust and are kind of looking to them as vets, and they're making some pretty bad turnovers. So that's something that needs to get addressed here. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I think we all just kind of, we all know the turnovers are pretty bad. But yeah, this is something that I don't know if everybody just needs to go to Johnny dribble too much, but I won't lie. Kobe's unfortunately one of the guys that are having some turnover issues. So it's not just about the ability to dribble. It's also the correct decisions to make. And we're seeing guys not making the correct decisions and being called for some bad travels, or not very clearly not aware where guys are on the floor. And that's not always on them, right? You no matter where you are on the floor, you have to always be aware whether you have the basketball or not. I talked about how the Bulls like to use the corner guys as outlets on drives, and it just seems like guys are not ready to be there consistent enough. So something that needs to get worked on. Still overall though, I'm happy with the ball movement. I think like tonight is a good night where it's like, yeah, 25 assists, but you only shot 41% from the field, right? So ball movement's good. I really don't have any issues with this offense at all at this current moment in time. And in terms of how they're playing, individual efforts offensively need to get better. But I think that even in an L like this, I can live with this offense. I'm fine with it overall. These numbers don't look great from the field, but I will say Dallas does look a little bit better defensively than I was expecting. So props to Dallas. I think Dallas is gonna. I had Dallas as my 2nd seed in the Western Conference this year. Let's see if that actually happens for them. Yeah. All right. Now, individually, the only 2 people that were positives in my head were Nikola Vucevic and Matas Buzelis. I think everyone else you could argue was probably a net negative. And a pretty bad overall negative. Ayo DeSumo started the game 0 for 6 from 3-point range, so there's that we can look at immediately off the bat. Ayo just could not hit his shot at all until the third quarter. Just was still, I appreciate that he was still attempting those threes, but right now it seems like the scouting report for Ayo DeSumo is, hey, we're gonna let him shoot the 3 ball, because it's honestly a really smart play by the opposing teams, because he shoots such a high percentage usually. Again, not really this season, but usually Ayo is extremely efficient from inside the arc. When he gets into the paint, he's one of the best finishing guards in the league. So it makes a lot of sense in my head why opposing teams are like, hey, instead of just letting him get inside on dribble penetration, let's just make him shoot the ball. And now we're seeing, teams just like we're willing to take the bet. Ayo came into this game like shooting like 14% from 3. That obviously, it's not great tonight, going 2 for 10. But I'm interested to see how this continues, because I'm like everybody, I'm giving him the 25 game mark to kind of prove this is just a cold stretch. He'll get back to better shooting. I don't necessarily expect Ayo to shoot as well as he did last season, but there's no way, in my opinion, he should be in the low 30s or going below 30. So he needs to get back up to at least mid 30s. In terms of his 3-point percentage. I appreciate his volume, which is good, but it's got to be obviously a better percentage. Kobe could not get a shot going tonight. Just a lot of short misses for him, so that was overall bad. Giddey, I thought, kind of had like initial nice game kind of going, but then his shot could not go down. He missed some shots at the rim, in the paint. He had 5 turnovers today, including a 5-second violation on an inbound pass, which I don't know if exactly that was 5 seconds or not, but overall it was pretty bad. So for the 3 guards, right, that we're kind of looking at as maybe some the leaders of this team moving forward, all 3, in my opinion, had some pretty horrific games tonight. Hence what the score is at the end of this sort of game where you're facing a contender. Patrick Williams, I don't really think there was much to really even talk about. Now, props to Terry. I think he played some good defense, but still too many turnovers. Jalen Smith did not have a good night. Horton Tucker, and Phillips kind of got a lot of garbage time minutes where he scored his most points. So nothing great tonight. Besides, Vucevic continues his good efficient shooting from in the paint. Just overall better shot selection for Vucevic this year, and I'm just really happy to just see it. Just so quick look at his shots. This is so much better than what we've been seeing in previous years. So keep doing this, Vuce. This is good. And then Buzelis, I think tonight is the big story, because he got a lot of minutes, he got a lot of rebounds, and I think he showed in his minutes tonight, even in his first 6 minutes tonight, hey, he is worth playing. I really think that I hope he proved to Donovan that he is worth playing. I don't think Lonzo's returning anytime soon due to the update we just got. So even when Zach returns potentially tomorrow, Buzelis needs to be in the rotation somehow. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking for 20 plus minutes every single night. I'm just asking for 8 to 12 consistent minutes for Buzelis. Knowing put him in a spot in the rotation where you can at least leave him out there for 4 plus minutes in a little stretch here in each half, just so that he knows when he checks in that he's not going to get taken out for bad play. Just give him that little 4 to 6 minute stretch and each half, and I think we're fine. But tonight was really good from Buzelis, and tonight the plan is to kind of go over some of his film that we have tonight and just kind of show what he did effectively. I'm really happy with how he played, and I hope that we get to see more of it. Sound a little stuffy. Are you okay? No offense, I care about your health. I feel overall pretty good. So do you think it's the mic at all, Zayover? Let's go on, Taro. Let me know. Let me know if you think it's the mic quality or anything, because I'm willing to restart OBS, honestly, because I think there's some weird stuff going on. So let me know if I sound weird at all. Does it sound like the mic has a cover on it or something, or does it just sound like it's me? I feel fine though, so I appreciate you asking, but I should be okay. I'm now more concerned about the mic quality and something unplugged. Oh, actually, that just turned off my keyboard. That's not good. Can someone tell me here? Can someone tell me if do I sound stuffy? Oh, sorry, I just hit my mic. Do I sound stuffy, or does the mic quality sound bad? Like, can someone tell me right now? I know you have to like listen in pretty closely here. I'll pause music as well. So let me know. I've been having some weird mic issues already before the stream started, so let me know, please. Sound all right? Okay. Yeah, if at any point, if the mic sounds weird, or if like if at any point you see, if at any point you see like the camera and the audio doesn't sync up with what I'm talking, please just like spam me in the chat. Like that's fine. That's perfectly fine if you do so. I'll give you permission to do that, because the last thing I want is to have a stream where my entire audio looks desynced from my actual camera. Like, so I appreciate you telling me to stay over. Maybe I am a little bit stuffy. I won't lie, I am tired. So maybe you're kind of hearing that. Yeah, election day wasn't great. I'll put it that way. So yeah. Yeah, well, tonight the plan is that we're going to do Buzelis film. I want to go over, I always record the game, so I want to go over some of the Buzelis kind of good stuff tonight. Just kind of show you where like I'm like excited about him. Just his overall play style. So just kind of focus in on him, because obviously tonight's a very bad night. I think you could take 70% of this game and it's like all bad. I even wrote down some stuff that like if we do get into the defense, I have some clips that I can show you that was Bulls getting back cut. So the Bulls didn't have like any switching issues really tonight, but they were getting back cut consistently. So it seems like it's something different every night for the Bulls defensively, where it's like you're not either closing out the possession or you're not switching correctly like they did against the Jazz. They weren't switching correctly. And tonight it was getting back cut consistently. Like it just seems like it's something different every night, and I'm not happy with how this Bulls defense looks. I expected bad defense, but I didn't expect this level of bad defense consistently. We're looking at a ridiculously bad Bulls defense right now. Just really quickly, I want to look at this. So this does not include tonight's game. The Bulls came into tonight giving up 119 on average, giving up 119.4 points per game. That is ridiculously bad, and again, this is not including tonight's game. This is just after the 135 points we gave up to the Utah Jazz on Monday. So yeah, man, this is looking pretty awful. I expected bad defense. I did not expect this level of bad defense. This is insane to see, and I really hope that I'm not asking for anything special. I just want the guys to come in and just follow your defensive protocols. Like, that's all I ask. I know you don't have the physical tools to be a good defensive team, but I just ask you to not get back cut and not fail your switches. That's all I'm really asking. Like, the Bulls are going to give up a lot of points in the paint. It's just going to happen. You don't have a rim protector. You don't have great perimeter defenders. You don't really have many guys that are effective in rotations. So it's going to happen. But the least you can do is at the very least is just understand that if you're going to switch, you switch. Don't get back cut. Don't get lost. Like, that's all I'm asking for. And the fact that all the people that said Levine is the worst defender of all time and he's been out, and these two defensive performances were pretty awful without him, like, I hope it just shows that, like, yeah, he's not the problem defensively. Like, I'm not here to say he's going to be a good defender, but he isn't the problem defensively that a lot of Bulls fans like to make the argument for. So that's that. One more thing in terms of just the Bulls' turnover issues and their style of play. So I'm going to be interested to see kind of who Donovan is going to be really trusting moving forward with this team throughout the year, in terms of who is going to be the main playmakers for this team. I think right now he's kind of giving a lot of reign to a lot of guys. Like, we've seen a lot of times where Terry's the guy bringing the ball up, or we've seen Taylor Horton Tucker, bring the ball up. we're seeing Donovan give the freedom to guys where if they get the rebound, if they think they can push it themselves, he's like, go push it. And I overall like that idea. However, what I'm starting to see though is that in my opinion, you're starting to see moments where guys are kind of missing like the main ball handlers like in the middle of the floor in like a transition opportunity. And I think that's something that maybe Diamond might need to look at, because this is a way to kind of just lower your turnovers where let's just say for example Patrick Williams gets the rebound and he's looking to push it. Right now Patrick has the ability to, or he has the freedom from Donovan and the go ahead to take the ball himself and push it up the floor by himself, and he gets to kind of make the decisions once he gets up the floor. My only thing is just like, instead of allowing like, maybe someone like Patrick that freedom, maybe the Bulls can still play fast, but they say like, hey, give it to Kobe, or hey, give it to Giddey, give it to Zach when he's playing, and give it to Ayo. I know that Giddey and White had the most turnovers tonight out of all people. They combined for 9, but I'm just kind of interested maybe if Donovan might kind of switch that, because there are just some moments where I feel like the Bulls, they try to push in transition because that guy got the offensive or got the defensive rebound, and it leads to like a turnover or something like that. So maybe I'm just being a little bit too critical, but to at least try to like reduce the turnover issue, it's just maybe something I'm just kind of like pointing out. I still want the Bulls to play fast. Like if, you know, in this sort of instance, what I'm talking about, it's like, let's say Pat gets the rebound. I want him to just immediately look for, or maybe you have like 2 guys, right? Like you have when you see Pat gets the rebound, you got 2 guys looking for the ball immediately, and Pat gets to just throw it to either one. I'm just kind of maybe just suggesting that, knowing that, okay, we don't have to like try to like really space the floor out correctly or really balance the floor out as we're trying to move down in transition, because there are some moments I can just tell guys are not on the same page, and that's leading to some turnover issues. So just maybe a suggestion. I think it's still maybe too early to go ahead and like say something like, you know, implement that now. But if the turnover issues like this sort of game continues, where we're 25 games in and it, you know, we're having so many games over 20 turnovers, then maybe we need to limit the amount of dribbles a forward can take, like P. Will can, or like how Dalen Terry can, or like Buzelis, right? Not saying that any of them specifically were bad tonight in terms of the turnover issues, but it at least would just kind of give a little bit more of a kind of like not identity, but just organization throughout the floor, to just, you know, at least have everyone a little bit more on the same page to get rid of those bad turnovers that we're seeing in games like this. So I don't know, I'm just pointing that out there. Maybe Diamond is, you know, gonna say I'm stupid for that, but again, I wouldn't implement it until like we're 25 games in, and we'll see if it's still an issue. What's going on, Matt? Matt, I did see your comment, by the way, on my last stream. If you're wondering, I did not time you out or anything, and I no mod timed you out, so I don't know if it was a YouTube thing. My only thing I will say to you, Matt, is that if you're typing like paragraphs in the chat, the YouTube bot or like the YouTube algorithm might be like, hey, don't do that. So if you want to type paragraphs, I'm all for it. I just, you know, if you do get like timed out by YouTube, I won't see that. So just kind of letting you know right now. I'm honestly wondering, are you still kind of like halfway banned right now? Like, because the thing is though, is that I can't like go and like change this. Like this is just kind of YouTube, because you might only be able to use emojis at the moment. So yeah, I can't personally like fix this for you. I do apologize about this, but just to let you know that I didn't like time you out or anything. Nope, you're not banned. Okay, good. Okay, just want to make sure of all that. Giddey makes his shots. Okay. No, well, I do agree. Yeah, Giddey has had some moments where he just straight up will miss a shot. It's just like, God, man, like you gotta make that one. Still, I'm giving him credit for his 3-point shooting this year. Like, it's been better than I expected, obviously, but it's still like I don't know how long this is gonna last. 42%, only 3.5 attempts per game coming in. Or I don't know if this counts tonight's game or not, but it's not great. I'm not a person that like actively looks at plus minus. Like I think plus minus is a really weird. It's a weird kind of stat to kind of like keep track of, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I feel like plus minus isn't always accurate because if one, sometimes if one player will be just on the floor when a star just gets hot, and so their plus minus looks amazing because they were just on the floor when like Steph Curry hit 4 threes in a row or something like that. But people have been pointing this out that Josh Giddey at this current moment has a negative 74 plus minus. And if you're wondering about that stat across for the Bulls, okay, that stat alone is like the worst out of the Bulls, like by far, in terms of like plus minus overall. So it's really weird, but I do just want to point it out because I just want to point out because I'm aware of it, but like in terms of like the worst plus minus, like it's not even close, honestly. The next person would be Vooch, and I don't think plus minus is the best thing to look at because like I don't, for example, like Taylor Horton-Tucker is at plus 14 for the season, and I can guarantee you that we all know that Taylor Horton-Tucker has not been the second best player for this Bulls team this season, right? So I'm just pointing out, like I think plus minus is kind of whack overall, but I am just pointing out I am aware of this sort of situation that is happening. So if you're wondering about it, like am I aware of, like I am aware of it, so just letting you know. Also, it's very very early in the year, like I don't I understand that people are going to be hypercritical of Giddey, but it's also early in the year, so I'm not going to be like looking at box plus minus constantly, or sorry, just specifically plus minus as a total stat. Gonna think I could get. To me, it's unacceptable that Dom is not playing Chris Duarte. He was the main piece in the DeRozan trade. Unacceptable. Delbert, let me ask you this: Who is Chris Duarte's taking minutes from? From even tonight's rotation, right? Who's he taking minutes from? Like, yeah, you don't have Lonzo or Zach right now, so that's a significant amount of minutes already that have to be taken up or are taken up by those two players. But if Duarte is, with those two guys out, right, where does Duarte play? Like, I'm being real. When I look at this team, I don't really see, like, maybe Dalen Terry. Like, I guess if you want to just take away Dalen Terry's minutes, but even then I would question it. And reminder that tonight's not like the best look at in terms of overall minutes, right? Like Terry doesn't usually get 23 minutes a night. That's not his typical. Like he usually gets like 14 or maybe like less. So I don't know, man. I have to disagree with you, Delbert. I'm personally fine with Chris Duarte not getting many minutes. I'm fine with it. I don't really see where he would kind of fit into this. Unfortunately, he is just kind of odd man out. However, I also will say I do think that he is sort of limited as a player. I know he was an all second team rookie, but like you're not taking minutes from Levine, Ayo, Kobe, Giddey, right? When Lonzo's playing, he obviously has to play, and then like already that's 5 guards. So it's really hard to even try to find minutes for a lot of these guys, and so unfortunately with Chris, I think it's just this is the reality of the situation for him. In a perfect world he gets minutes. I don't think DT that good. He's a nice hustle guy, but he's still quite raw offensively somehow. So just a quick question though, Delbert. Like first off, again, Dalen's not usually in the rotation. If everyone's healthy, Dalen's not even in the rotation, right? But because obviously you're missing 2 guys, like Dalen's now in the rotation. But if you had to make a decision, right? Would you rather play Dalen Terry or Chris Duarte? Like, for a young team that's trying to, I guess rebuild or get younger and hopefully do the right thing moving forward. I'm personally fine just kind of seeing what Terry has. He's quite younger than Chris Duarte. I want to make that clear. And then I think overall, just like Duarte was kind of sent here. It's just kind of like just to make the money, just a little bit easier for Sacramento. Bulls got paid Duarte's contract. Like the Sacramento Kings basically gave money to the Bulls to take care of Duarte's contract. So he really wasn't coming here for any intention to really play, honestly. If you're wondering if that was either like the case at all. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Like I think Duarte maybe on some other team can maybe get some minutes, but this is the NBA. It's rough. I've been calling for Buzelis minutes, and tonight it seems like the anomaly where he gets actual consistent minutes for once. But even he's not getting consistent minutes as the 11th overall pick. It's a tough competition at the end of the day. So I don't know. I have a rough time trying to find minutes for Duarte in the end. Just so that if you're all wondering about the age difference between these two guys, okay? So here's Dalen Terry, okay? So Dalen Terry right now is currently 22 years old, okay? And if you're wondering about Chris Duarte is he's 27. So Duarte, he came into the league as a 23-year-old pretty much, or maybe it was even 24. So I really don't see a way that Chris Duarte gets any sort of better. Not saying that he's worse than Dalen Terry at the moment. I do think that you can make an argument that maybe Duarte is better than Dalen Terry at the moment, but he's still he's just a pretty limited player overall. He's just kind of like a shooter, and he had some nice moments in Indiana as a defender, but he's still just it kind of all relies on if his jump shot is going down. And I'm personally, if I'm the Bulls, I am playing Dalen Terry over Chris Duarte just due to the 5-year age gap and seeing what I have in Dalen Terry. That's, in my opinion, just a smart move. So I respect your opinion, Delbert, but it's tough, right? It's really tough in the end. Well, we got like a Trey Lyles, for instance. I don't think I think for the Kings in that sort of trade, I don't know if it really if it would have worked out for them. Because is Trey Lyles even playing right now? I actually have to look into it, but I think they wanted to really keep him. Hey, he's getting some minutes overall this year. But for the Bulls, issue was the money, right? Like, how much could they actually take back? And Trey Lyles is getting paid, let's see, $8 million, and then for the Bulls this year, for Duarte, I don't remember how much Duarte is getting paid this year, but so 5. So it is like a little bit of a kind of like a money issue, I guess, because once again the Bulls they got close up to the luxury tax threshold, so they only have like $4 million. So they probably could have taken it still, but it gives them a little bit less flexibility to not hit the cap or the luxury tax. Which again, I know it's stupid that we're talking about it, but it's just a reality, unfortunately. You're out of the trade and purpose of it, but I feel like we've already seen enough of DT on this team. I mean, look, Delbert, I'm not a big fan of Dalen Terry. I'm not saying hey, yeah, he's gonna turn into something great. I also think he's extremely limited on offense, but he does bring some of that defensive effort that I do appreciate, and maybe the Bulls are just kind of banking on that to kind of carry him through. But still, though, I still think it's the correct decision because he is just younger. Yeah, he's not 19 and he has all this raw potential, and he's getting a lot of playing time now. He's 22, so he probably doesn't have much improvement left in him. But if I had to make a bet on who's gonna improve more, it's gonna probably be Dalen Terry. I think Duarte is who he is at this point. So yeah, it sucks, but yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of guys like this in the NBA where it's you think that they're probably good enough to maybe get some minutes on some other team, but just the way that the roster is constructed on this team, where you have all these guards, right? It's just unfortunate. Now, here's the thing, though. I will say for Duarte, he's got to stay ready because Zach's currently out. I think Zach will be back tomorrow if I had to make a guess. It seems like things are kind of leaning towards that, but I don't know when Lonzo's going to get back, honestly. The latest report from Casey Johnson didn't make things sound too great. Lonzo had the wrist sprain. It was a grade 2, or like between a grade 2 and 1 and 2. He has to be really careful with it, because if he does end up like hurting it worse, he would need season-ending surgery. So it seems like Lonzo's still in a splint, if I'm not mistaken, and tomorrow would be day 10 of reevaluation. So I don't think Lonzo's coming back anytime soon, honestly, with the way things sound. So if you're Duarte, knowing that guys have been getting kind of, nicks and bruises, and, Giddey was kind of questionable for being sick one game. You never really know when someone will get injured and it's your time. So just stay ready. And I think that he will stay ready in the end. I know it kind of sucks, as a Bulls fan, you're like, hey, maybe we should play him. Like, it's not like he's like 34 or anything, but there's not a lot of spot on this not a lot of playing time, I should say, for guards or wings at the moment, because there are a ton of guards and wings ahead. Because just a reminder to everybody, Javon Carter's not playing, right? And he's getting paid $6.5 million this season. And Torrey Craig, who a lot of Bulls fans really like, and I also like Torrey Craig a lot, he's really not playing. He got some minutes tonight, but Torrey Craig's been pretty much out of the rotation. So you're looking at a lot of guys, right, that, you can make an argument that Torrey Craig's still a pretty, like, decent role player, but he's not playing right now. And I think it's the correct decision to just not play him. As weird as it sounds, I just think it's the correct decision. If the Bulls are all about development, then obviously you're not going to try to be developing a 34-year-old Torrey Craig. Great the ceiling youth aspect you bring up between Terry and Duarte, though. Yeah, it's just the right decision, man. Like, it sucks that, like, it does sound like it's ageist, but that's just how the NBA works. Do you play 2K? Not anymore. If I'm assuming you talk about NBA 2K. I used to play it all the time. I would have so many. I always remember it as the association teams, but I know it's like, I forget what it was most recently called, where it's like you pick a team and you just kind of manage it. I did that all the time, and it was really fun doing it. But I feel like the 2K quality has just kind of gone down recently. But I would love to look into it, I guess. But yeah, I don't personally play NBA 2K anymore. If anything, if I ever do play 2K, I go back to my NBA 2K13 game, and I have a 99 overall my career player on there that I just love to just kind of just have fun with. So unfortunately, he's not on the Bulls; he's on the Mavericks. So I know, like, it's I've played it. I played it on this channel before. I've done a stream. If you even search up my. Here, I'll even do it for you. If you just search up just my channel name and then 99 overall 2K13, I think it should show up. NBA 2K13. Yeah, so here it is, actually. So if you do want to see like some gameplay of this, which it's like, I know it's crazy to say, but this is over a decade long game. Like that's insane to just think about right now, that this game is over a decade old. But it's because I put so much time and effort into this game that like I will always go back and play it every now and then. So here's the link to that stream if you ever want to watch it. So yeah, so if you want to check that out, I might actually do it again soon, where it's like when there isn't like a Bulls game or something, and I just want to come on here and stream, because there's gonna probably be a day soon like that, where I'm just gonna be like, I just want to stream, but there's no Bulls game or anything, so I'm just gonna come on and maybe I'll just do that for a day and have fun with it, and show you guys, and we'll just talk about anything, honestly. Yes, the offline gameplay is quite rough because it's so catered to online microtransactions. Yeah, that the more recent like 2Ks is just so everything's all online, and then like they shut down the servers after a year. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. That's how they make their money. Like I understand business wise why they do it, but for someone like me who wants to play a lot of it, it's like yeah. Features for franchise mode is good, but it's very buggy. That's also what I've heard. The franchise modes though in like more recent games, it just everything was so slow. Like yeah, it was a rough like as they just kind of like added more into the game, it didn't seem like everything was like it wasn't like to like really fully run the game smoothly, and that kind of like once that started to happen with the franchise modes, I kind of just lost interest. It was too slow for me to to like actively like fully play it. I had some like really fun teams though. Like I had like a expansion, like the expansion stuff in franchise mode. Like that was awesome in my opinion when they added that. And so like they had like the default expansion teams, and like I would always like kind of play as one and try to like build a championship level team. That was fun. But yeah, right now though, I couldn't tell you what's in a 2K game, like the new features or anything like that. I have no idea what's in NBA 2K25. I was thinking of honestly getting it and just being like I want to like maybe screw around and just kind of like do like a my career, and like I go to the Spurs and I just see how good Wemby becomes, and just kind of play through that. But even like my career now, like it just takes forever for you to like become a like a good my career player, and then it's just it feels like the game to game, like between games and everything, it's so slow. And the fact that like you can't like max out stats anymore, like for all stats, is so weird, man. I never understood that. Like even in the 2K13 stream night, like or NBA 2K13 my career, like I made like a defensive player, like my archetype was defensive, but I'm still able to max out like my close shot, my layups, right? My mid range is like maxed out I think at only 90, I think, but like even my 3-point shot was only maxed out like at 85. But in today's 2K you can't do that, and I never understood why. Like I think that's ridiculous. But yeah. You have a new gen or old gen or PC? I have the Xbox One, so I do not have the new gen. I do have PC, so I'm currently on a PC at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I know that I'm going off on a tangent here, but I've been thinking about like on this channel what I'm gonna do with it moving forward, because obviously we're just doing Bulls post game streams here for now. I mean, yeah, I play others. I do still play video games if you're wondering. I play Valorant, but this is not a Valorant channel, so why would I do that? But if I ever do like 2K13 again or something like that, I'm more than willing to like stream it out here. I think that's a fun thing to do. I definitely see you messing around with team building and trades and whatnot. Oh, you have no idea, man. Like that when I play franchise mode on NBA 2K, I did everything like that. I turned all the rules on. Now the problem with franchise mode is that it's not the trade rules are not perfect. That's the only issue. Like they kind of have some of the trade rules, but it's not perfect. That was also the reason why I was a little bit upset with it all. And the fact that like you can only trade like a certain amount of things, like you can't like if you wanted to trade like 5 first-round picks, you can't do that in my franchise, as well as trading players. So it's just limited things, Again, I'm not being like too hypercritical of it. I'm just like pointing things out. But yeah, I would do that all the time. Salary cap stuff. The salary cap stuff also wasn't perfect, but in terms of the rules. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, building teams up and trying to build up. Like drafting young players that I think have potential. The reason is because you can max to 9 attributes, you don't need to make like 2 builds. Well, my point is this though. Like for example, if I have a defensive archetype, right? Like I expect to have like more, you know, defensive, like higher attributes there, but I don't. My only issue is just like, why can't I make a layup then? That's like my only thing. I'm not asking for like a 99 3-point shot too. I'm just saying like there are certain things that I feel like I should also get. But you know, it's money. I understand that 2K needs to find their ways. You have like pick guard in the center and do everything if it was all 99. I also think that's just like 2K's like bad, you know. 2K's like they don't adjust it where it's like, oh yeah, like the max speed for this one player is, it should be this. Like, yeah, they kind of have it, but it's not like perfect, you know. Because like you're right, like yeah, if everything was 99, then like yeah, I can make like a 6'10" guard that has like unlimited speed and strength, and you know you could break the game. But that's also, I feel like it's just on 2K's like bad end where it's like, okay, maybe it's not like 99, but like I would at least still like it to be a little bit more than like, oh, I can only go up to 70 for this one attribute. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just being hypercritical of it all, but yeah. All right. Okay. Let's get into some of the film breakdown stuff I wanted to do here. I'm hoping that the stream worked, or sorry, the recording worked, because they want you to make a bill for every little skill on the game. Yeah, that I don't get that. Do they still even have the like you have to like build on your badges or whatever? Like you need to like increase your badges and stuff like that. When I heard that, I was just like, what? I don't understand that. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're good here. Okay, so tonight, again, like tonight obviously was like a horrible game for the Bulls tonight. You know, Luka wrecked them, Kyrie wrecked them, Daniel Gafford wrecked us. So yeah, just bad all around. I do want to just go through some Buzelis tape here and just kind of go over what I'm happy with overall, because I think that this is good to see from Buzelis. You know, get some early minutes and just look really comfortable out there. And it's interesting just kind of listening to some people, because like you know, some people including Stacey King's like, maybe the speed's getting to Buzelis. Like, I don't really think the speed of the game is getting to Buzelis. Casey Johnson reported in the middle of the game, like it's not the speed, it's the physicality, and this is obviously where we're like, hey, yeah, if you're Buzelis, you need to go and just get stronger. Which we all knew that. I think we all knew like that's the reality of the situation here. Is to just, he needs to go and just get stronger as a player, right? And that's fine. Like if he already feels pretty comfortable with the speed of the game, then I already think he's past a hurdle that a lot of rookies, you know, take some time to pass. And that's something that I can like have a little bit of faith with Buzelis moving forward, that it's not gonna be like the speed's gonna get to him where like he's panicking or making like some bad turnovers because he's got double teamed or anything like that. It's gonna be just like he just needs to get stronger. And so hopefully that works to the Bulls' advantage here. When it comes to this stuff. Hold on, I'm kind of glitching. Okay, cool. So here's Buzelis' first made shot of tonight's game. I just want to go ahead and go through this one because I do think that this is just a good sign to see. First and foremost, right here with Buzelis, so he's in the corner. You can I love the fact that he's raising his hands like, hey, I'm open, give me this ball, this is good. I'm a little bit surprised though that Dwight Powell decided I am going to absolutely run at him and try to run him off the 3-point line. I do think that was a bad decision, but I appreciate Buzelis doing the right thing, because in this sort of instance right here, if the speed was too much for him, in my opinion, right, then I think that he either would have traveled here, potentially did a catch and think like Patrick Williams always does, or he would have not even pump faked, he would have just driven to the rim and potentially got an offensive foul called on him. So the fact that he was willing to pump fake it, and then he was willing to dribble baseline and not think, oh, I got to try to stay in bounds and go this way, right? I'm happy that he did this. He got past Powell pretty well here. He recognizes, hey, another defender's coming, but because the shot blocker in Dwight Powell came out to get you off the 3-point line, this should be a easier finish for Buzelis, because hey, the shot blocker's not here. So I like the fact that he shot faked. I like that he drove it with full intentions to just go make the shot, knowing that Powell was the guy coming out to him. So that is the shot blocker, right? So now this guy is not a shot blocker contesting him, and he did a little nice Euro step to go ahead and get a better angle for the shot for the little floater. So that's really good to see. Having that in his game already, I think is really good. Is just a good sign. His height really does give him like a nice advantage here. So if he can just, you know, take his height here and obviously build up his strength, so where he'll be like a really consistent finisher even through traffic, then we're looking at someone that if he does ever get the chance to go up for a layup attempt, then I think we're looking at a really good potential finisher here. It's a long ways to go, obviously, because he's still very thin, but with his height, with his standing reach, with his verticality, and if he just gets stronger, this is a really good sign moving forwards. I think we all know that putting the ball on the floor is something that is really helpful if you're a wing, and being able to be in control and finish. So this was a good sign to see from Buzelis in his first made shot tonight. Then we saw Buzelis move forward and hit the next his next shot, I believe, and it was a 3-point shot. So here we go. So, oh, sorry, yeah, black screen here. So Bulls got, I think it was, I don't exactly remember what it was, but I do think it was a turnover. And I like this right here. We saw Buzelis is like basically kind of like here, but you saw him sprint. Like he is sprinting down this floor right now. This is great, right? Because let's just be real. Would Patrick Williams do this? If Patrick Williams kind of was like in the middle here between Horton Tucker and Kobe White, would we see Patrick Williams be sprinting like just 110% going down the floor as the Bulls are in transition opportunity? Like I probably going to say no. I think a lot of, and that's just not, you know, picking on Pat, but it's just like it's everybody, right? Like I don't think a lot of guys would do this. So Buzelis recognizes, hey, this is a transition opportunity, but we got to space the floor right. So he is running, he is just booking it all the way down to the corner, and this is the correct decision overall in this play here. And you see here, it gets him an open shot because of it, because he ran hard, because he was like, okay, I see that we're in transition. I'm in between both Horton Tucker and Kobe, and they have the ball. I got to just book it to the corner, knowing that the other two are going to pick up the spaces around over here, and Smith and Terry. And he books it to the corner, and he brings out Powell on him, and he gets the 3-point shot out of it, and he knocks it down. This is great. I love it. Oh yeah, every bit of it. I'm very, very happy to just see this. So like I said, I think it's just another showing to everybody that like it really doesn't seem like that the issue is the game speed, because he's recognizing very quickly already that, hey, I need to be on this spot of the floor, right? There are still moments definitely on defense where he does seem lost. I'm not saying that he's been perfect on defense or anything like that. There are moments where he is very clearly out of position on defense, but I don't think that's going to last too long as he just gets used to the NBA defense and, you know, Billy Donovan's defensive system. On offense, it really does seem like he understands where to be. And I that alone is going to help him just get a lot more easy shots. So I'm happy to see this, and I think it's just overall just a good sign moving forward for his future here, because, you know, young players have a lot of hurdles to take, especially when they're, you know, coming out 1 year removed from either, you know, college or G League like Buzelis did, or, you know, internationally. But this is good. This is overall, this is really good start to Buzelis' career, in my opinion, just to where he's currently at. I know he hasn't played a lot. And Charles, all around awful. I was okay with the shots not going on if they're the right shot selections of shots. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. I'm fine with the offense. Just the guys suck tonight. Too many turnovers. Just, yeah, it was overall bad. The turnover issues are a huge problem right now, I will admit. Give the guys some pick and roll touches or elbow touches or something. I feel like it's gonna be like Laurie with the Bulls, then go elsewhere and prosper. I don't. Well, here's the issue with that. I think Laurie and him have two very different games. First and foremost, I've also made it pretty clear that, like, I know, I know a lot of Bulls fans are upset about Larry. I'm not the biggest, like, I'm not that upset. Larry's in a system right now where he is the main guy, and there's really like no one else there that's like gonna like be really taking shots from him now besides like Colin Sexton. And so yeah, I'm not that shocked that Larry's like putting in bigger numbers. I will say I was shocked that he became an all-star, but I wasn't that shocked when he started putting up bigger numbers in Utah. But since then though, he's only been a one-time all-star since. He did make the all-star team last year, and he's not exactly at the greatest start to this year because he's been injured still. Reminder though that Larry went to Cleveland for a year and he put up pretty much the same numbers or worse. I think that's like, as much as people are going to be going crazy about marketing his development, I'm not really that like, I'm not like going nuts about it. I like, you know, it would be nice, right, to have him, but you know, I'm not like freaking out over it. I'm just trying to kind of say, I don't think Buzelis is going to really fall into that sort of category. My biggest concern with Buzelis right now is just about playing time, because I feel like that if he does play, he's fine out there. Right now, with the way that I look at things, when it comes to Buzelis, is like, oh, is he going to like, you know, does he need like elbow touches or being part of like the big like pick and roll action? The way I look at it is, I don't really know if he really needs that at this moment. I need him to learn how to be a little bit more effective off ball, kind of like how he did in the G League, just a little bit bigger of like an off ball role. He had a lot of freedom in the G League. Like he had a lot of freedom last year to really handle the ball a lot, and he got a decent amount of touches. So now, in my opinion, it's about, can he, you know, still be effective off ball, still make the correct decisions off ball. I do apologize about the ads. I did not expect that. Sorry. And then after that, like, then as he gets stronger, as he develops, gets more comfortable, handling the ball in the NBA, you know, in an NBA game, then we can start. You know, increasing his on-ball stuff. One of the things, if you looked at my breakdown for Buzelis' film from the G League when the Bulls drafted him, one of the plays, for example, that I can see him being pretty effective with is where, like you can like run like a horn set type action where he's in the corner, someone sets a down screen for him, he comes up and it's a handoff play to him from the point guard. So the point guard's kind of like setting like a little brush screen, you know, with the handoff play, and he just comes off and he kind of makes a decision, right? He can either shoot the three or he can just take it to the rim. I think that's something maybe that the Bulls can implement like later down the road, but for now, I just think that he just needs to get comfortable as kind of being like the four and understanding where to be, and to make the correct decisions when the ball does come to him. I actually think right now that, like, from what I've seen, when he does get the ball, like, he seems to be pretty solid. Like, I don't have like any concern like, oh well, because he's not getting enough touches that he's not going to be comfortable with the ball. Like, I think he's going to be overall fine with it. But I will say though, like, let's say for next season though, where it seems like it's the exact same role and we're kind of Patrick Williams, like him. Patrick Williams is, you know, it's partially his fault, but if you're gonna argue like, oh well, he's kind of stuck in this, like, you know, four role that doesn't really get a lot of touches, he's not involved in much action, then I will be concerned for sure. But for now though, I just want him just to kind of get used to things, because he is adjusting to a new role on this team, because with the G League he had the ball a lot more. He was allowed to kind of take some like fadeaway mid-range shots that, you know, you're probably not going to get away with now. So adjust to just being in this sort of role on this team first, and once you're pretty well adjusted to that, then I think we can increase his workload with him. I will say, Matt, like, you know, you're concerned about slowing his development. I agree. I am worried about that. I will say. My only other thing though is just to keep in mind, I did also say though with Buzelis, I've been overall really happy with him, but my main concern with him has always been, is he a jack of all trades player, but he doesn't excel at one thing. that's like my biggest like concern with him is like he can do a little bit of everything, but he's not like really, he doesn't really excel at anything. Like he's like okay on dribbling, he's okay finishing, he's okay at setting a screen, he's okay being a shooting off the dribble. Like so I'm just like with Buzelis, I always just I'm just kind of also putting that out there as like a caution of like, I know a lot of Bulls fans, including myself, want to see him play a lot more, but I also don't want people to be like, well, if he was under the right system and everything, like he's going to easily develop into like a 20 point per game scorer on his rookie season. Like I don't think that would happen anywhere. I'm just saying that like hey, listen, let's just also make sure that like we don't have like too high of expectations from him. Yeah, I just want to point that out there, because I do think that there are some Bulls fans that, because he's from Chicago, they're like, oh, he's going to be an absolute all-star. Like, Stacey King keeps talking about how he's going to turn into a phenomenal player. I don't think that's guaranteed. I really don't. I really don't think that's guaranteed. Obviously, you want the Bulls to develop him as best as possible to see if he can ever become something great, but I also am just aware that he might be limited in terms of his skill set. So, like, we can't like expect like, oh, he's gonna be like a phenomenal player elsewhere, but just because he's on the Bulls, he's bad. Yeah, I just want to make sure that that's clear. Like that little play that they run, Zach cuts from corner of the rim and Zoe drives in and kicks it to him with baseline. That's all we got. Well, I mean, so for that sort of play, I want people to understand that sort of play, like, it's not easy for both ends. Like, obviously when Lonzo and Giddey do that sort of back cut play, like their passing, is on full display, and everyone's like, oh my god, what a pass, blah 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 blah. The fact, I don't think what people understand is that play is very hard for the finisher. Like, there's a reason why only Zach really does that. It's because Zach has the ability to have the balance he has the quick first step to get that quick first step, what am I looking for? Quick first step advantage on his opponent, right? Then he has the speed to get enough distance, and going full speed, he has the ability to catch the ball, keep good balance, and then be able to finish under the rim. Like, that's not easy. Like, I want that to be clear. Like, Zach is probably the only guy on this team that can consistently do that sort of play, where he's able to go backdoor like that and finish consistently in traffic around the rim. That's not easy. So, while it sounds nice for Buzelis, like you think that's like a nice play, that's not an easy play. Like, I don't know if Buzelis has the core strength to do that right now. Like, a lot of people are going to always be praising what Giddey and Lonzo, with the passes, and rightfully so. Like, those are phenomenal passes by those guys. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But that's a very tough play for the finisher. Like, you have to catch it. Like, there is a lot that has to go into that, yeah, like, the pass has to be also on point, so props to the passers, but the guy that receives the ball there, he has a lot to do. I don't think people really quite grasp that when they see that. They're like, oh, see, like, Zach's getting set up for such an easy shot. Like, it's not always that simple. Like, yeah, there's gonna be times where Zach catches his defender sleeping and it's an easy dunk, but when it's in traffic, that's a very tough play. And also a reminder that the reason why Zach's able to get that sort of play is because he's a good 3-point shooter, right? The defenders, when the defender sees that the ball is on the same side, like the strong side, and Zach's on the strong side, they're up in Zach's face. So, sorry, I hit the mic again. Like, we're talking like Zach like has that sort of like he has that respect from defenders where he's a legitimate 3-point threat. So for Buzelis, if he tries to do it, he's probably running into a defender much lower, right? Because they're willing to like sag off of him from the 3-point shot. So I'm just pointing that out. Like, that's something maybe Buzelis down the road can absolutely do, but that's not like a simple play that we're like, oh yeah, we could just run that for everybody. Then Stacey say that Chandler Hutchison was going to be great too. Yeah, Stacey King says a bunch of stuff that I just flat out disagree with, and I'm always going to like point out when I do disagree with him. But yeah. OKC bench players did multiple times a game. Kendrick Williams for first season got like one a game, usually another two off the bench each game. Are we talking about though like just simple back cuts, because I can show you a play where Kenrich Williams got like a simple back cut play where Giddey was the thrower, like Giddey threw the ball and Williams was wide open under the basket, and was able to lay it in. But like we're talking like levels where, you know, Zach is pretty much like he barely has a step on the guy, and he has to finish through traffic. Like, are we talking like that level, or are we just talking like simple back cut? Because that's what I just wanted to point out. Like, yeah, like I understand back cutting, which the Bulls got completely back cut a ton this year, but that specific sort of play, like it's not like, oh, Zach's just doing things, like he's getting set up for like everything easy. Like he has a lot to do still, especially if it's like, you know, a in traffic play. Just simple back over boost to learn. Yeah, sure. I mean, we can even say that on yeah, I'll bring it back here. So let's go back to his initial shot that he made, right? So let's watch this. Like, I think this is still overall good stuff from Buzelis. So Jalen Smith's in the post. You can clearly tell Smith's not really trying to score, even though Spencer Dinwiddie on him, which is fine. I'm fine with this. But keep an eye on Buzelis here. This is Buzelis, and just keep an eye on what he does, right? He's like, okay, we need to move. So automatically we're looking at him, and he dives hard to the basket, right? Correct play. Smith just decided not to give it to him, right? Smith decided to give it to Giddey. Like he's aware, right? Obviously he needs to refine it, but I do think that like his awareness of when to cut is there. It's just about then refining it and being more efficient with it, right? So just pointing it out, like if you're saying that like Buzelis has never back cut before or has done any sort of cutting before, like I'm just saying that he's done it. It's just that, you know, one, it's hard to find him, right? But two, he needs to refine it. How do you get that first step advantage on your defender, and make sure that you get the edge that you need? So just pointing it out. All right, really quickly, I do want to show you Buzelis's block, which I think was kind of as a steal for whatever reason. So this is where Buzelis, in my opinion, is going to excel the most. This is kind of where I have the most hope for him in terms of being like his highest impact as a player, no matter what, is going to probably be here. So he's playing the 4 in this lineup, so he's not the center. But here, for example, is where I'm most excited about him, because right now you can see here he is obviously he's guarding this guy. Luka's coming down the lane. He jumps up and his length just seriously affects Luka, right? This alone, like he doesn't like it, I guess, like the block shot, like the, you know, the height, like the, you know, peak at the jump here, but he just affects Luka. This is what I think he's gonna be the best at. This length, where whether he gets a block shot or not, is just gonna annoy the hell out of guys. So like this sort of play here, and knowing that he can kind of not, you know, he's not like exactly like, you know, he doesn't have to be in the best position overall to go ahead and make this, you know, be able to like go ahead and affect this shot. He can kind of not exactly be like right below the rim, and he's still being an annoying defender just because of his ball hawking and length, right? The fact that he saw the shot, saw Luka was gonna try to like pass it off, and he was able to slap at it, like that's impressive to me. I've said that this is the one thing that I think that like is gonna, no matter what, it's gonna carry it to the NBA. And I have the most faith in terms of him being like, you know, a skill that he will excel at. It's gonna be this. So it's all, you know, we just, again, refine it, better timing, understand players' tendencies, when to actually jump and when not to jump, because he does always go for the block a lot. So obviously there are times when you shouldn't, you know, fall for a fake or anything. So you know, it's all just about refining it. Let me have his timing from earlier comment when you mentioned he doesn't have a big strain, and for offense, I thought Cut's obviously defensive end. He is a good help deep blocker. Yeah. That's what you meant. I understand what you're saying, Charles. Yeah. When I say strength, though, like I do overall mean finishing, right? Like he's not going to overpower his way to the rim at this current moment in time, but yeah, I agree. Like he's not going to have the strength to like run through a defender or bring the ball down like pick and roll action and bring it into the paint and try to finish strongly over a guy. Like, that's not going to happen, obviously. So yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Like, hey, cuts could maybe get him some more open looks for where he doesn't have to, you know, flex his strength to try to finish a layup. But I agree. But I just want to point out, like, I also just want to make it clear, he is cutting. Like, I do think he's a cutting guy. Like, it's not like he's just standing at the 3-point line. He just hasn't always gotten the ball. It's hard to, you know, to give it to a rookie that may not fully understand the timing just yet. So, yeah, I just want to make it clear, he's still attempting cuts, even if we don't see him always get the ball in the end. Get on the booze cruise. Let's not bring that back. Yeah, that's one that I don't need to hear again. Okay. Really quickly before we go on to talking more about Buzelis, I wanted to talk about a play here. So I know Matt kind of brought up Stacey King. I think that, was it this play? I don't quite remember it. It might have been this play. Let me just quickly look. But this is kind of one of the reasons why I don't always like. Look, man, I'm not always trying to be a hater of Stacey King, but there are just some things that I just like. You know, I understand people are human and you're gonna miss some things, but some of the things that he's just kind of saying, like, I think he just has things that he just wants to say all the time. Where I'm like, I don't know why. It really makes no sense that with what you're saying, because he basically, what I'm saying is just he completely analyzed the play wrong. Like, it's completely wrong with what he thought happened. That's not, like, again, I'm not trying to be like the biggest hater. Like, I'm not trying to be like, don't listen to him. Stacey has some good things. Like, you know, I appreciate the nicknames, and he is, at the end of the day, he is just, it's, you know, his job is to entertain, right? His job isn't necessarily to be the best analyst in the world, but there's some things that I can't get behind. And when he just flat out says something, like when he flat out just analyzes a play wrong, it does make me upset. If you're wondering, I did tweet out about this. I didn't specifically tag Stacey or anything, just pointing this out really quickly. So I raised the volume on this recording, so I do always have volume, but just listen to what happened here, okay? Listen to what Stacey King says at when Gafford gets this dunk here. So on this play here, Stacey King said that the backside fell asleep that time. And again, I'm not here to be like, let's, like, you know, pipe, like point out every mistake that he does. Like, I make mistakes on this channel too. Like, I understand that, but that right there, in my opinion, is the wrong analysis. It's just completely wrong. He says the backside fell asleep that time. Let's just rewatch this play once, just immediately, without me saying anything. We just need to watch this play.
They're waiting for Spencer Dinwiddie to claim that 6-man role. Yeah.
Oh, nice feed by Doncic to Gafford.
The backside fell asleep that.
The backside didn't mess up on this play. If you're wondering what happened here, this is a double drag screen, we call it, right? Sorry, no, that's not correct. So this is the Spain action, right? This is Spain. This is the Spain action, because what you do is you put a guy here as potentially as another screener, or he might slip screen, right? And so with Klay Thompson, for example, you have a lot of options, and so this is Spain action, right? And so you see what happens here is Ayo and Jalen Smith switch. So you have Jalen Smith is now guarding Doncic, and Ayo's on Gafford. But as Gafford then, like, it goes towards the basket, and Klay, you know, either, you know, sets a screen, or I don't exactly remember what he does here. But, you know, Klay just fades, right? Klay just fades back to the 3-point line, and Gafford just rolls hard, right? So first and foremost, you see Ayo's already out of position, right? Ayo immediately thought that, oh, we're not switching this, but he ran back to Doncic and it was like, oh crap, like, oh, we're switching it. So now he's trying to run back to Gafford, but then he sees that Pat took Gafford. Pat decided, like, oh, I'm gonna reach out and try to slow down Gafford, and so then I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna try to run back out to Klay, but then at the end of it, we see that Pat runs back out to Clay, and so then I was like, oh crap, I got to run to Gafford. That it's too late at that point, right? But at no point in any of this moment should Julian Phillips or Kobe White be involved in this action. Like, they're not supposed to be. Like, if the Bulls just switch this correctly, right, then, like, yeah, like these guys should just be able to stay home. But when Stacey King talks about the backside right now is Julian Phillips, right? Julian Phillips right now is the weak side, right? So he is technically the backside that Stacey King's talking about here. And if there is ever a point where you do need a rotation, it would be Phillips moving over. But this is not a defensive coverage where you need a rotation, right? This is if you just switch everything properly, then you don't have two guys on Klay Thompson and you don't let Daniel Gafford get an easy basket, right? That's the part that doesn't, like, this isn't backside problems. This is the initial pick and roll defense was wrong. Like, you saw initially Io was not on the same page as Jalen Smith. You saw then Pat tried, I don't know what Pat was doing. He was in between both guys. So it's not the backside that was the issue. It was the communication was the problem, and the initial pick and roll defense was not on the same page. So at no point was the backside the weak issue here. This is not on Julian Phillips. Okay, at no point should Julian Phillips be expecting, two guys on Klay Thompson and then boom, right? It just, when I heard that, I'm like, it just makes me upset because I know that there's some people that obviously don't like rewatch the game like we do, or like how I always rewatch games and look at actually what did happen, and so a lot of times they kind of like what people, when they talk about the Bulls, they pick up what Stacey King says and then they talk the same way about it. And you know, I understand not everyone has the same time of day, like, you know, someone like me or someone like you guys. Like, we're here in the chat talking about the Bulls after a horrific loss, you know, for like 2 hours after the game. Like, that's the type of people we are, and I understand that, but it's just always that sort of like false info type of thing where I just kind of get like, listen, there are moments where obviously guys should be criticized when like they mess up, but when we start saying things that are just flat out wrong, and it's gonna get passed around the Bulls fandom, and everyone just says it now, it's like, it just makes me upset. Like, I don't want to hear that sort of thing, because then everyone starts to, you know, feed off each other like, oh, the consensus is that Julian Phillips on this play completely messed up, when it's like, no, he didn't. But I'm sorry. That just has to. This is gonna happen all season. I promise you. Like, it's not gonna happen every game, but whenever I listen to Stacey and Adam Amin all the time, and you know, I think Adam Amin's one of the best play-by-play announcers for all sports across the world. And Stacey, he's been. You know, when I started watching the Bulls, like, he was always like someone I really enjoyed listening to. But as I got more into like how I look at the game and not how he looks at the game, I'm like, wow, I completely disagree with many things when it comes to Stacey King. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna let it go, unfortunately, because that's just the way I am, and I am stubborn. So that is, I guess, my ego coming in. But yeah, when I hear stuff like this, man, when it's just completely wrong, I'm like, bro, like, it's one thing about, like, if he says something I disagree with, where, like, you know, he can make an argument, like, it should be this way when it's the other way, but it's just a whole nother thing when it's, like, completely bad, like, it's just, like, this wasn't correct, and he just says it on broadcast, and everyone's just gonna eat it up. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So, sorry about that. No idea why the last move occurred. All of it, screen mess up for sure, but follow up was weird. Yeah. So for all you guys, I was saying, like, Pat needs to talk on that. You're right. Like, Pat needs to talk on this. Like, if we're actively trying to be like, hey, what did go wrong in this play? Yeah, Pat needs to seriously work on his communication here, because again, I'm gonna guess right now that this was supposed to be a switch, but I don't fully know. Again, maybe actually Jalen Smith was the incorrect guy, honestly. Maybe he was. But what I've seen a lot from the Bulls when it comes to this sort of Spain action, they just kind of switch it, because it's hard to make sure that the initial defender actually gets back onto the main ball handler in this sort of action. It's like really difficult. So they just usually switch it. And so I think Io was late on the switch call. And so because of that, he's then out of position. But then Pat just needs to talk. Like, Pat needs to just say, hey, go to Klay Thompson. It probably still ends up being a Klay Thompson 3-point shot from all this because Luka's that good and just surveys the floor and what happens. But Pat, at bare minimum, needs to make sure that Gafford is taken. Like, he just needs to say to Io, I got Gafford, go to Klay. Because in the end, actually, is that's probably the correct decision in the first place, right? Like, the correct decision, like, if let's say they did everything right, then the correct thing would be to actually just switch P. Will and Io's guy. That would actually be the correct thing to do, but Pat just didn't do it. So I don't know. It's just, bad defense with the Bulls, not surprising. But Stacey King's analysis of just like, yeah, Julian Phillips messed up here. It's like I can't. I hate that. That's not on Phillips at all. No, not on Phillips at all. During the last game, Stacey said there was a play at the beginning that Vooch set up was actually not set up by him at all. It was all people in Iowa, actually. Yeah, that's that happens a lot because he wants to give Vooch the credit, right? He's a big fan of Vooch, and you know what? As he was a fellow big man, so I understand that. But yeah, it's when that sort of stuff though, Taro, where it's like, yeah, this guy did such a great job of setting this guy up when it's like he didn't even set him up. Like, he wasn't even involved in the play. Hell, he might have not even been on the floor. And you're just like, what? And no one corrects him. Like, I guess that's more like where I get, like, I'm just so confused by it. It's like Adam Amin won't say anything. He just kind of rolls with it. Like, when it's like very clearly like a mess up. Like, it's not anywhere near correct of what did happen on the floor. Then it's just like Adam Amin's just like, yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting. I don't understand. I think Stacey does know ball, but he's kind of half paying attention during these games he's coasting. Well, Stacey's all about like he is all about like play inside out, everything like that. Like, he is 90s coded, and I get it. Like, he played in the 90s. Like, he was taught basketball that way. He played basketball that way. Hell, that's why he thinks of basketball this way. It makes a lot of sense. I was taught baseball a certain way. I played baseball a certain way, and so that's the only way I kind of knew, right? It's just that, like, I just don't really understand why he hasn't, like, adjusted as much as he probably could have. So I get it. Like, he's gonna think always inside out. That's how you play basketball. That's how you grew up with basketball. So he's gonna always go back to that. But yeah, I'm waiting for the next game where Stacey really starts to complain about the 3-point attempts. Like, I'm just waiting for it. Because after that game in against OKC at the United Center, the third game of the season, where Stacey was just going insane about the 3-point attempts, he's just like, the Bulls gotta get back inside. They're inside right now. Like, I'm like, is he gonna survive the year? Like, we're gonna put up 40 plus 3-point attempts in almost every game here, and like he's like losing his mind after we've taken 30 in like close to like a half, right? Like, he's just like, bro, this is insane. This can't happen. Like, I'm just like, get used to it, man. That's how things work. Yeah, sorry, Stacey King rant. Again, not to be. I'm not trying to be the hater. Again, I loved a lot of his nicknames. His nickname for Nate Robinson was my favorite with Mr. Excitement. Like, I loved it. It's just, this is an analysis channel, so when there's analysis happening and it's wrong, I'm gonna be like, hey, this isn't exactly the correct thing. Let's actually break this down correctly here. If you're wondering, by the way, so Adam Amin also had this really interesting moment earlier. If you're wondering if there is a moment where Adam Amin did mess up today, he gave Billy Donovan some credit on this exact play here, and I'm just like, Billy doesn't deserve credit for this whatsoever. And so this was the play where Luka missed the shot, right, and Pat got the rebound, and then Luka comes in and steals it, but Billy called a timeout as Pat got the rebound. So Pat, because he had full control of the basketball, the Bulls get a timeout here. And so if you listen to what Adam Amin says here, so, Adam Amin's saying, like, it's an inadvertent whistle. That's fine, because, like, he thinks, like, oh, I think that was an inadvertent whistle. Like, that was weird. It was weird. It was a weird whistle. I completely agree. And he probably didn't get an explanation. But what actually did happen, though, was Billy was going to call a timeout at the end of this possession no matter what happened. So whether the Mavericks scored or the Bulls got the rebound, he was calling a timeout. you saw it as the shot went up here by Luka. Like you can see it.
In every game, and that was the case in the first handful of games. Wow.
So this is what happened right here. See, Billy is already yelling to the official, calling timeout. I want a timeout here. Right? Billy wasn't saving Pat. Billy wasn't like, oh, I know Luka's coming and I called a timeout to make sure that we didn't turn the ball over because I saw him. He's gonna come behind Pat and steal it. No, he just called timeout and the officials gave it to him because they saw Pat get the rebound, right? And Billy's like, this is bad. I'm calling timeout no matter what. And so the officials gave him the timeout call before Luka actually got the steal. So Luka didn't get the steal. Pat had the rebound secured. Bulls got the timeout called for them, so they were lucky. It's all luck. It was just luck at the end of the day. And I'm just like, the whole, oh, maybe Billy called a timeout because you saw Luka coming up behind him. Great awareness by Billy. It's like, no. And then Stacey King's like agreeing with them. I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand it. Like, that's not what happened, guys. And the reason why I always say this is just because, like, the way I always think about it is, what if there's somebody watching this game and why, I don't know why, like, someone's watching, like, a game. I'm not watching a Bulls game, but let's say they're actually like watching a game, trying to learn the game for the first time, right? Like, let's say someone's like actively like trying to become like a Bulls fan and like they're trying to learn the game and understand what's happening. Like, the commentators have a major effect on it. And so I would want these people that are getting that sort of broadcast, like, they at least get the proper info. I don't know if you guys are like have kind of thought about this, but the way I listen to a broadcast, whenever I listen to a broadcast and whenever someone's talking, I listen to it for info. Like, whenever play-by-play guy, or color commentator, I'm always listening for info. I'm not necessarily listening for entertainment. I'm listening for info. Like, that's always the way that I've listened to a broadcast. That's just always how it's gone, because they're at the game, right? So they have angles of the game that we can't always see from our broadcast point of view, right? So they might have some more info that is not shown onto the broadcast for the audience, right? So I've always listened to a broadcast for info. That's the reason why when the White Sox did their whole switch with this year, like with John Schriffen, like Schriffen kind of needed to find that middle ground, because Schriffen's like a major entertainer, but he wasn't really bringing much of the info game to the broadcast, right? And that's where a lot of criticism was happening for him. So it's this sort of thing where I listen to a broadcast for info at all times, and then when I hear something I'm like, that's not right, I start losing my mind. I'm like, if there's someone listening for info that doesn't have all the contextual information that others do, then it's a hard thing. Like, it's a really hard thing then, because they're getting false info from a broadcast that they think they should trust, right? Dude, biased boxing commentators are some of the worst. I'm sure. I'm sure with boxing that it could be pretty bad. There's bad lineups tonight. It might be wise Kobe and Giddy out there with each other, not the minutes. The others out as well. They literally have better plus minus with Io than each other. I mean, I think Billy was trying a lot of different things tonight. So yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I think tonight was you could say, like, yeah, bad rotations, but I also think it was just experimentation tonight. So I won't be too critical of Billy about that, but you are right though, because I have also seen those numbers. Yeah, he needs to stagger Kobe and Giddy better. Which he has done initially, right? Trust me though, Adam and Stacey are way better than the majority look. Oh, I'm aware. Like, I trust me, Matt. I'm aware that, like, the fact that we have Adam Amin calling first and foremost is incredible. Adam Amin, in my opinion, is very, very, very good. And it's not just for basketball that he calls. He calls for football. He calls for baseball. He is one of the best play-by-play guys in the world, honestly. So, like, I make this criticism about Amin tonight just because I'm just like, that was kind of like a wild kind of, throw at the wall, see if it hits type of comment. It was just kind of odd to me, so I just want to point that out. Stacey, I do think, is better than most color commentators. Like, if you go listen to, like, the Boston Celtics, it's horrible. If you go listen to the Miami Heat guys, like, they're not as great either. The Warriors also have some issues. Yeah, it is. There are definitely some pretty awful play-by-play guys for sure. I fortunately I do not know the Charlotte Hornets broadcaster off the top of my head, but their play-by-play guy I think is actually really good. So Charlotte has a really good guy. He was the one that called the "oh no" when Zach hit the what was it, 11-3 or 12-3 in that game winner in Charlotte. Like, he's, in my opinion, really, really good. Yeah, we obviously have some like ridiculously bad ones locally for them. So I'm aware that we're very, very lucky to have Adam Amin and Stacey King as our two guys broadcasting. It's just that I guess it's also just kind of what I did to Marv Albert as he did get older, and some of the other play-by-play guys. Like I am just, I am hypercritical sometimes because I listen for info. Like, and if you're getting your info wrong, or you're not corrected, it's like it's a little messy, Love how hype Charlotte's broadcast. Yeah, Charlotte's broadcast is really good, man. I think that those are really good. Lakers comments are pretty good and fair, actually. I actually think so. I do think that the Lakers broadcasters are pretty overall fair. They're obviously, they have the homerism in them, but like I think that having the homerism for your local sports team makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need I don't need local broadcast teams to be like well, we're straight face stonewalled if their team scores like the game winning bucket or anything. I'm not saying that, but yeah, you can have your homerism, but you also just you have to be fair. Like, if someone's playing badly, then you just gotta say, yeah, they're playing pretty badly, and that's fine. Like, we're cool with that. I do think that the Lakers broadcasts actually they do a decent job of that. Overall, I hate the ones that think everything's a penalty for their team rather than, oh yeah, that's a foul on us. Yeah, that those suck. those really tick me off, man. Yeah, those are pretty bad. I'm trying to remember the Clippers broadcast team. I don't fully remember. I think who is here? I'm gonna show us. I just want to really quickly the Clippers broadcast. There. Eric Smith. No, that's not it. Broadcast team updates. Here we go. Oh, is it actually Chauncey? No, there's no shot, right? This is 29. No, Chauncey's coaching. What am I talking about? What? Who is the Clippers broadcast team? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Jim. Yeah, it is Jim Jackson. Okay, yeah. So it's Jim Jackson, Mike Fratello, and Brian Seaman, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, these guys I think actually do a pretty decent job. They are the Clippers at the end of the day. Yeah, I think these guys do a pretty good job with not being like, oh, everything's a foul. Zay tries to persuade for fouls if he's the coach's ever roster. Sometimes still he does. I kind of just I'm sorry for the ad. I kind of just let that go with Stacey, because unless it's like egregious, like if it's like there's no way that's a foul, and Stacey's like calling for a foul, like I'm just like then I'll be critical of it, but like I'm that to me it's just homerism at the end of the day, so I can live with it. Obviously if it's extremely egregious, then yeah, I'm gonna say something, but I'm not too bad about it. Ryan, I don't know, is this Siamen? I don't know. I thought that's how you say it. My bad if I said it incorrectly, but Sieman. Bro, I don't ever do sexual jokes, especially on this channel, but the company Siemens, when I found out that there's a company named Siemens, I was just like, what? How is that real? I could not fathom that was an actual company name. Like, the fact that that's a company name it's insane. Like, how did that get through? We're just like, yeah, there's a company named Siemens that is just like, yeah, we just say that. Like, what? Yeah. When my friends and I found that out, we were just like, what the heck? There's if you, by the way, if you ever go to Disney World, and I think you go to I don't know, actually I don't remember which park it is, but there's like a globe in the middle of the park, and that globe, it's run by it was made by the company Siemens. And it's just like in the middle of the night, you just see like the logo on the globe, and we're just like, what? Like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, when we found that out, we're just like, what? Yeah, sorry, tangent. All right, okay, I want to go ahead and show you one more thing from Buzelis, because I do think that there's some good stuff here. Oh, was this history? Okay, this was actually, okay, interesting. Excuse me. I forgot Buzelis actually made three threes. I did not remember that, so that's my bad. Pull up the video again here. Universal Orlando Studios? I don't think it was Universal. I'm pretty sure it was Disney. But maybe it was Universal. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. I apologize. I'm trying to remember from like many years ago. I saw there was a kid named Mike Hawk, and we were dying laughing. Oh my god! That immediately, I'm just like, I know what's coming. That's insane. Okay, moving on. One more time though, I do want to show Buzelis' one of his 3-point shots made, because I think this is yet again a good sign from him. His 3-point shots can be inconsistent. Like, I'm aware. I'm not here to be like, hey, this needs to like get fixed immediately, or like we should expect like consistent 3-point shooting from him moving forward. But this is overall good. So first and foremost, this does end up as like a Vooch post up that I wasn't too happy about. This to me, oh my god, sorry, I hit 10 seconds back. Sorry. So when I say like Vooch post ups, this is kind of the area that I get nervous about. Like if Vooch has his man sealed like deep down low like here, then obviously you give it to him, right? That's fine. I don't have any issues with it. But when he posts up here, like we're talking out of the paint, like, you know, a good 2 steps out of the paint, like we're talking like 15-foot, 16-foot range. This is where I get really bit nervous, and like he likes to operate in this area a lot, and it's frustrating because he's not very effective from this area. Like his field goal percentage drops significantly. So this is kind of a concern for me when he does post up here, but they did figure it out. So props to Vooch on this possession, because what happens here is that they play him one-on-one, which is what I would also do. But you see here with Spencer Dinwiddie, he decided to reach, and then he loses Buzelis. So I just want to, it's very small, right? But it's very small, but Buzelis just barely moving, right? As he sees Vooch kind of go towards a little bit more to the middle of the floor, right? So Buzelis is not over here like where Vooch's back is, right? He's moving slightly over into the middle of the floor. This little slight movement, as you can see here, Dinwiddie has no idea where the hell Buzelis is at this very moment, right? It's very slight, and Buzelis probably did it without even realizing, but it's just good, again, court awareness. And you see that Buzelis moved even slightly over as the pass was thrown to him, and he's gonna get the shot off really quickly, right? And he knocks it down. So I think this is just really good to see from Buzelis, just that little slight movement that, you know, means a lot. Just a better awareness of where you are on the floor. How can you open yourself up for a pass from where the ball is, right? And he did just that. So it's very slight. It's not like, you know, anything spectacular. And all NBA players really should have this, but I'm happy to see it from him. Like, it's not something that's just kind of lost from him, and, you know, the speed of the game as he tries to adjust. So yeah, it's good. It's overall really good. All right, now it's making me hungry. Oh. That would have been better if he passed the Vooch and then ran backside for a pass. Oh, I see what you're saying. So instead of passing it into Vooch and then going back up to the top of the key, you want him to it's kind of the triangle action, right? You want him to go here, and then potentially either Buzelis goes this way, or you can even have Buzelis kind of go this way, right? This sort of action here would be more triangle, right? This is also fine, but then you just need to make sure then Terry's moving, right? This sort of action is not exactly that great, especially at this moment with IO cutting, but I think that it could be effective. Again, no, I'm fine with him just kind of standing. I'm fine with him just standing here, honestly, because you see Io's cutting first, so I don't want two people cutting at the same time. And so I'm fine with him just kind of sticking around here and just playing correctly, and use Vooch as your help, because as you see, Io cut through, didn't get anything, he was back out. Then Giddy's gonna cut through, right, or attempt to, but he doesn't get very far because the lane gets clogged. Hence why I don't like the post up, but it worked out in the end. I have to pay THT to take a dive. I think THT is just like, I think we're seeing THT is better than a lot of like bench players, or a lot of like end of bench players, but when it comes to like consistent minutes, like I don't really know if I'm gonna necessarily get anything special from him. Play felt dead, to be honest, and a bit lucky they broke down. Well, okay, here's the issue, Charles. The reason why the play felt dead to you is because this is a post up. Like, this is why I've been saying consistently, I don't like this. Like, I hate the fact in general that this happened. The fact that we decided to do this is the reason why this is a dead play. For some reason, what we've been seeing a lot of is that teams have been doubling Vooch in the post, and I don't know why. I've said it. It's just let him go. It's like, dare him to score, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-point shot from like 10 feet, and he 50-50 chance, maybe 40-60 chance he misses it, right? And if he does make it, it's a 2-point shot that took a long time in the shot clock. Like, I hate it. Like, I that's the reason why this felt like a bad, like, clunky, overall dead play, because it's a post-up. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? I don't understand it. And so, yeah, that's the reason why it felt dead. Yeah, you could have as much off-ball movement as you want. I still think it's still a bad play. But, potentially, triangle action with Buzelis, I could see it. I could definitely see why the triangle maybe could have worked in that sort of possession, but it's still, it does, the one thing the triangle does do that I don't think people understand now, it's like in today's era, it does kind of clog up some areas of the floor. And so you just have to be really aware of that sort of action, right? Make sure you don't go into make sure you don't go into specific areas that need to be occupied. So yeah, like, once again, like I've said, if Vooch has a guy sealed like here, like if it's like, restricted area circle, you give it to him, right? If he seals them completely and he's open, you give it to him, because he has the tendency to not seal his man, and he gets the ball stolen, and then we're all like, whoa, oh my god, we can't throw a post entry pass, when it's like, no, he did a bad job of sealing his man. But when we're talking about any sort of post up with Vooch, and it's like we're talking out here from like 15-16 feet, like, this is insane. I don't know why we would do this. We've been getting rid of this, and I haven't complained about it way as much as last year, but this sort of stuff doesn't need to happen. We were lucky that Spencer did what he decided to reach, and then had no idea where Buzelis was, and so Buzelis still knocked down the 3-point shot off of it. But as I've always said, though, if I'm the opposing team, I'm just like, okay, play Vooch 1-on-1. Let's see if he can actually like score like four times in a row in the post, because then we'll change the defense. But I don't think he's going to, and we'll just take. Well, if he goes 50-50, then it's like, okay, cool. At most, you're getting 4 points then from the post and 4 possessions. Like, cool. I can live with that, and it slows down the game for the Bulls. Like, I'll live with it. So yeah, that's the reason why it was all clunky as hell. With that, everyone on this team is just working on their threes. The sole indication of that is Josh couldn't even knock him one single three down this season. I'm sure everyone's working on their threes, Delbert. I just don't know if they're gonna all become consistent 3-point shooters. That's the big issue. This is funny when we get fired up, man. I do appreciate that you enjoy my, I guess, anger or rage, or my rants. I don't intentionally try to be funny. When I tell people, like, when I actually like discuss basketball with a lot of people, this is the way I get sometimes. Like when people start saying stuff that I'm just like, what? Like, guys, just sit, like, think about this for a second. Like, this is the way I just kind of am. So I'm glad it's entertaining. Yeah, post up outside the paint by a mile is, yeah, I don't need it. We need one on each block, so we have 2 post up options, fellas. Yeah, if it was 1999, then we can have the double twin tower post up options. Like that, we'll definitely be running that, but not today. We go back before the pass. I would rather Vooch come up the screen boost to move left, and even if the screen does a little more, boost is a better spot to pass from. No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah. 3 big lineup. Marvin Bagley, James Wyman, Vooch, triple post up. Oh my god, bro. And here's the funny thing, guys. All 3 of them are not good from the post. Like, all 3 of those guys are very, very, very inefficient from the post, if I'm remembering correctly. Vooch this year's been better, but still though, it's not like it's anything spectacular. But historically, Vooch has been very inefficient from the post. James Wiseman, I don't think even, like, yeah, that's, yeah. And Marvin Bagley, I was so wrong about Marvin Bagley. I thought Marvin Bagley was going to come in and become, like, a great player, and he just never did. Yeah. Duncan gets more furious in agreement at times. That does also happen, too. Yeah. I feel you want to say awful things when these things happen, but you strain yourself for the channel health. I mean, I guess if you ever see me in real life, and I have, like, you know, if I'm comfortable and and you give me the okay, I will be cursing a lot. I just curse a lot in general in real life. I have cursed on here, by the way. Like, if you're wondering, like, I have said, like, I think every word on here, but I don't say it a lot. I try not to just, you know, just like, I just try not to. I understand it's not exactly, like, professional. I'm not trying to be professional in streaming. Like, I'm not trying to be that way, but I don't want to just, like, be just cussing out, you know, F-bombs every now and then. It just doesn't sound great. But yeah, I do a pretty decent job, like, if I'm ever in a professional setting or if I'm ever on stream. Like, I can limit myself. I don't know. If you, I know I definitely dropped something in the last stream when I was upset about the Jazz, or that Jazz game where the Bulls defense was so atrocious. Like, I definitely dropped something. I don't remember what it was though. But when I was ranting and showing the terrible defense by the Bulls, I was losing my mind. And that's when I will be cussing out a lot, and so I do apologize. But yeah, I try not to cuss out too much. And obviously in videos I don't want to do it, because if you're not aware, if you cuss out, if you do any sort of cuss words early in videos and YouTube videos, it will, like, immediately get demonetized. So it's just like, I'm not gonna go do that. You can swear in streams, that's not an issue, but you try not to swear, like, the first 5 minutes of a stream, because that sometimes the YouTube bot will, like, actually, like, hit you with it, and it's like, oh, hateful conduct. It's like, no. I was being ready to shoot. Granted, he had to. Yeah. That's kind of the point of this. I was trying to show from this play. Like, I'm not happy about the post up, but yeah, that's the point of the play. I thought Bagley would be good too. Yeah, man. I thought Bagley was going to be the thing, and he failed me. Yeah. You'll be fine with the Australian audience. It's normal on G-level TV. You should see our kid shows. Oh, I'm sure, bro. You guys say a word that I don't usually use the word. It starts with a C. You guys use that word all the time. I mean, I don't personally look at it as, like, anything bad, like, or, like, too bad. I don't ever say someone is a blank, but you know, I'm not shocked, like, that you just have all sorts of stuff flying out on the TV, on a kid's TV show. Yeah, it's very funny listening to the Australian accent. because when in like a professional setting, so like if you by the way, I'm also like I do watch other sports. Like I'm sure you guys know I watch baseball and then also the Bears. But I'm also a NASCAR fan, and so I'm blanking on the new NASCAR. It's Lee Diffie, I believe. Yeah, anyway, but he has the Australian accent because he is Australian, and it's funny to me because it's like I'm so used to hearing that accent just kind of dropping everything, but he's obviously on national television and he has to just be a professional. And there are moments I can tell that like he wants to drop something, but he does hold back. It's just very funny to me because like I can like easily hear him saying a bunch of F-bombs, but especially when things get like really exciting in NASCAR, like he just I could tell like he'd easily say it, but he does a good job of just kind of toning it down and not going too far. But yeah, it's funny when I hear like the Australian accent in like a really professional setting, because like I'm used to them just dropping everything. Gotta keep it clean for the kids. I mean, that's also what I do think about. I don't really think a kid would be watching this channel in the first place, but I do have like a younger cousin who comes in every now and then, so he's heard me swear though. AC is a friend often. Yeah. I thought we were going to hate it for some reason. Well, I understand why they would hate it. Yeah, I understand why they would hate it. It's just not part of my vocabulary, and I don't intend on having that part of my vocabulary, honestly. Sorry. Oh, okay, no ad. Perfect. Hold on. I'm trying to loop the music. Black, the only thing left for you to watch is wrestling. Honestly, the next thing for me to apparently watch is golf. But I'm never watching that. I'm not a hockey fan, if you're wondering. I don't watch hockey. When the Blackhawks are good, I'll tune in for a game every now and then, but I don't watch it. And when I do say that, like, so like NBA, I watch everything. I watch everything in the NBA. All of the teams. Baseball, I just stick to the White Sox. I am a depressed White Sox fan. I do pay attention to like around baseball. I'm not watching like everything. It's hard for me to watch everything in baseball. And obviously with football, I just pay attention to the Bears mostly. NASCAR, its season ends next weekend, so that'll be over very soon. But wrestling, I've never gotten into it. My sister actually loves it, but I can never get into wrestling. Not the biggest thing. Random spot, not going just to watch in Australia is netball. Oh, random sport, popular social sport, and the rules is very clearly, it has clearly influenced how Australians pass heaps and play. Like you see the moments. I've seen a little bit of netball, but I guess I don't know if I can like fully understand it, like, or I can like tell you all the rules or anything right now. So yeah, netball is a bit similar to basketball for why closer to basketball, no drilling, so you pass more. Gotcha. Baseball, you can watch cricket. I've tried watching cricket. It doesn't make sense to me. You ever watch a World Poker Tour? Well, I'd just be having that on the background. I'm not putting in gambling, just the game itself. I don't watch poker now. I guess the other sport is esports. I watch all the Valorant tournaments, so there's also that. Ever watch paint dry? Yeah, watching literally, in my opinion, golf is watching paint dry. Like I can't. Golf, in my opinion, is it's just so boring. I have people that love it, and I'm just like, what? I can never watch this. I'm losing my mind. It's boring. Oh no, I'm aware of that. I know that's what baseball is from. Yeah, but I can't watch it. I can't. I can't get behind watching cricket. I don't know why I like wrestling. It has that athletic aspect despite being a show and not a sport. I guess that's maybe the reason why I don't really like it, because it is like entertainment show, but I don't know. I guess for me, watching two guys try to hit each other doesn't seem to. It just doesn't appeal to me. Like I think when we watch sports, right? Like we watch it because it's humans doing things that only a handful of humans can do, right? That's the reason why it's so awesome to watch. It's so entertaining. With wrestling, I'm not saying oh, I could go do that. No, I'm aware the wrestlers do an insane amount of work on their bodies and have to do a lot of training. But I'm not very familiar with the scene at all either. But I don't know. It's that for some reason I'm just I don't really understand it. I don't know why I type. What's worse to you, golf or tennis? Oh, golf easily. Oh, I'm not the biggest fan of tennis either, but if I can probably watch a tennis match if you really make me do it. But if there's a golf tournament, if you give me $100 or whatever, or I don't know what my limit would be, but if you give me $200 and you told me, hey, sit down and watch this Masters tournament with me today, it's 6 hours long, I'm no. I'm turning it down. I am not watching golf for that long. I no shot. I can never do it. AFL is the one most NBA fans like. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of AFL. Yeah. I will feel like watching an amazing dunk. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. That's actually that is actually a really cool concept. You can just guys jumping off their knees and other tall guys' backs. That's crazy. I know. Oh my god. Do any of you guys know what handball is? Have you guys heard of handball? That I think in my opinion can kind of get pretty entertaining. I don't know any sort of professional sport league for it, but I've played it before and way long ago, but that was pretty fun. There's also a game called Juke Ball, if you've ever heard of that. I don't exactly know how to spell it, but it's Juke Ball. That's something that was also pretty fun. I played. I enjoyed that a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, it's handball big in New York. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that actually. So, do you know a legitimate combat sports like boxing, MMA? No, none of the legit combat sports. I don't watch any of that stuff. I know people that do watch it, but I don't pay any attention to that. Sorry. Yeah. I think it always shocks people when I say I'm a NASCAR fan, which honestly I really didn't get back into it until 2 years ago again. When I was growing up, when I was 5, I became the biggest NASCAR fan ever. And I watched everything. I lost interest after 2012ish. But then I've recently got back into it and it's been good. I've enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that'll be the one everyone's wait, you like NASCAR? The demographic is not for someone like you. I am aware, but I'm not an Asian stereotype Asian. The way I describe myself as an Asian as I'm the whitest Asian you'll ever know. If you look at my channel, my last name is White. So if you can't get more white than that, then having the last name is White, that is you can't get more white than being the Asian I am. It's an insane level of white that I am, even though I am Asian at the end of the day. It's just crazy, but that's the way I grew up, Giddy played AFL growing up, so you see him at times wanting to crash the board from behind on a rare occasion with the look. Oh, honest. Okay, that makes actually a lot of sense. I understand why he has that tendency now. Man, those slap tournaments are very stupid, but I can't let I watch them a couple times. I've never actually watched them. I just know about the slap tournaments. But that also doesn't seem very fun to always watch. Hamill was in the Olympic. Oh, I did know that for some, but I guess I just forgot. NASCAR is a work like wrestling, in my opinion. Oh, NASCAR is definitely. Oh yeah. Not like bro, NASCAR be kind of entertaining sometimes. Yeah, there's always a lot of drama in NASCAR in terms of just kind of everything around it at the moment, and then the car specs and everything, which I can go on a long rant about that also, but Yeah, it's been better recently. That's all I'll say. There was definitely a dip. Like, 2020 into 21 was definitely a dip. In terms of like NASCAR, or like kind of NASCAR in 2022, I guess you could also say. But it's been better. Yeah. Next Olympics is going to be peak basketball. Will be the first time international basketball might actually look relatively good. Now it's more popular overseas. I am very interested in the next basketball for Olympics, like the tournament, because if correct me if I'm wrong, but it's in LA, right? The next Olympics, right? It's going to be in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. Or did I get that wrong? Because I think that's gonna. It's just. I mean, LA is hell to get through in terms of travel, but I know that like no matter what though, it's gonna be like a very good overall entertainment, entertaining tournament. Like the fact that the Olympics are gonna be in LA is gonna be awesome. So I'm not gonna like go to LA and watch it because I don't want to go through the LA traffic, but it's gonna be like overall a good time. So yeah, I'll be really interested to see how that works because obviously Team USA is always trying to get for the gold, but like they definitely want to get the gold this time around if it's in LA. So but I do agree. I think that the international teams are going to be a lot better, and they were already very good this year. Obviously the French team was incredible. I also think it'd be interesting to see what the Australia team looks like because I don't think FIBA Patty is going to be around, but we'll see. He might honestly still be there, but we'll see who's actually like going to be the kind of leading that team, right? But like even like the team like the Bahamas, for example, they have DeAndre Ayton. Like the international basketball teams are going to be awesome, and I think it's going to be awesome to just watch. So yeah, that might be the best album name ever. Whitest Asian you'll ever know. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. Drivers in NASCAR are critters, pretty much, at least historically, for sure. Yeah. But I also think that they're extremely talented in stuff they do, and I think now you're kind of seeing a little bit more now, like the talent in NASCAR versus like the unique characteristics each one had. And I appreciate that. Can I have a center to cover the weakness with Zach by then? France has had so many early picks. Oh my god, yeah. Like, Ricochet was from France, right? Yeah, like, oh my god. And then who else? Who else? Hold on, let me look at this again. I won't lie, bro. I feel like I don't feel up to date with the 2024 draft. I feel so like I don't feel like I have much. Like I don't know everybody, and it's a weird feeling. Okay, so Alex is from Perth. Got it. Okay. Was there someone else from France that I'm just missing here that you went early? I don't remember. Alex Starr was also French. Okay, got it. Alex Starr just played in Perth, Australia. Oh, okay, got it. Cool. So we had two French guys go 1-2. And then is Tidwane? Was he also French or no? Yeah, so he is also French. He was born in France. Okay, wow. So yeah, we had a lot of French coming in from this draft. Okay. Yeah, man, that French team, like, okay, so you have Wembanyama. I'm assuming you're gonna still have Gobert. You're probably not gonna have Nick Batum then, right? Like maybe. I'm trying to remember anybody else that's like important on the team, but like either way though, then like assuming that some of these guys actually develop well, like yeah, that's gonna be a legitimate team. Dyson Dance coming through might be more key for Australia. I like defensive players more. Okay, got it. Oh, Zhang. Oh my god, yeah. Usman Zhang. Yeah, there's a lot, man. Oh, is Bilal? Oh my god, is he? He's also French. Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. I mean, he's off to a one hell of a start of the season. By the way, he's played really well. So shout out to him. Yeah, Ntilikina. I don't have much faith in Ntilikina moving forward, though, unfortunately. But yeah, that. Oh my god, bro. The fact I'm sure the French team was so upset that they didn't win gold this year because they're in Paris, right? Like that would have been awesome for them, like to win it in their home country. But I mean, they're gonna absolutely be out for revenge then in 2028. That's to be one hell of a team. Easiest place to find my country is NBA 2K ratings and sort by countries. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That's I don't if you were here for the 2K discussion, I don't have 2K, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. They have like 20 plus NBA players now with so many like the last few years. Yeah, that's awesome though. I love this. I'm interested to see though, because we know the French, like, is the Spanish team just like dead, or do they actually have a chance here? Because that's always been one of the better teams. Canada's more one I would pick, but Vicky's peak does sound fun versus Chet, maybe the center for USA or back. Oh, yeah. Canada, yeah. I'm. It matters in my opinion with Canada, just like, you know, it's kind of similar to the whole, you know, Team USA. Like, is Shea gonna actually play, right? He played in the last one. I'm aware he did, but like, is he gonna actually be willing to play in the next one? You know. Is Jamal Murray, you know, is he declining? Like, it'll be interesting to watch with Canada. I don't know what's Spain because they often select the non-NBA players. Yeah. You know, when Spain got, like, you know, Gasol brothers retired, Serge Ibaka's retired. Like, I just kind of, you know, no more Nikola Mirotic. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of everybody. And obviously, you know, USA has a lot of decisions to make. So, I mean, I'm going to assume that LeBron's not going to do it. Like, this was probably LeBron's last run. But, you know, every time we assume LeBron's done, it's like, oh, no, he's back. Like, he's back again, guys. What's new? Hero FA 2 without Dennis, who plays so well internationally. Yeah, Germany's going to come down to the Wagner brothers. Because... yeah, I mean, no, Dennis obviously is gonna kill them, but yeah, the Wagner brothers are gonna have to like really like take hold of that. USA Atlanta prediction super early. I don't have anybody. I mean, like, the weird thing now with Team USA is that it used to always be, in my opinion, be like, okay, it's the best players in the NBA, and you know, if they're injured, then they can't play. Fine. If they decide not to play, fine. This year though, I do not know what happened with some of these guys. Like, the fact that Jaylen Brown wasn't picked over, you know, Derek White made no sense in my head. They basically told Kawhi, like, get the hell off the team. And then Jason Tatum's getting benched in games. It's like, I don't know what Grant Hill and the whole crew over there, like, if they have some sort of agenda. Like, it seems like they have favorites, and, you know, I guess the whole, like, you know, shoe deal with Jaylen Brown, I guess, was an issue. It didn't make much sense to me. So, like, I don't know. Like, I would want to say Jason Tatum is going to be the one, like, kind of help leading that team, because Tatum was on he was on a FIBA team. He was then for the FIBA Cup, and then he obviously was in 2 Olympic teams. Like, I would think that he would get, like, kind of like the he would be like one of the early picks because he's done his due diligence. But, like, I don't know at this point. Like, I really don't, honestly. And you know, we have to wait and see who's gonna like develop into like superstars too. So yeah, like you say, like I'm gonna guess Anthony Edwards is probably gonna be on there. I'm gonna be real. I don't know if Halliburton's ever gonna make it again. Like the way that he's kind of playing recently has not been amazing. Chat makes a lot of sense. I also think Banchero is a good pick. We'll see how Bam is kind of doing. I don't know about J-Dub. J-Dub is a little bit harder to kind of gauge. Yeah, and then again, like this is assuming that like Durant and Curry and LeBron are all done, right? So like you're talking about the greatest scorer in Team USA history in Durant. Obviously then Curry and LeBron and their whole thing, like they this is assuming that they're done. So if Devin Booker's still a good player, he's probably gonna get picked. Yeah, and we'll just kind of have to look and see. Need to play who worked for the system through, though, for Olympics. I just did Tatum. Like Tatum worked. Like Tatum was playing a ton under Pop though. Like that's the part I don't understand. Like it's very similar type teams. And Tatum was like the starting forward for under Pop, and then like Steve Kerr just is like no. And like I understand that Steve Kerr, like you know, he deserves that like some criticism for that. I still think Steve Kerr is a good coach, but like I don't know, like that was just weird to me. That seemed more of like a personal like USA issue than it was like a coaching issue. But yeah, you know, things happen, I guess. Like it's a choice of Tatum or KD at times positionally or LeBron. I understand that. I guess my biggest just like I was just so like weirded out by was like there were a lot of times with it seemed like it was like 3 guards, but like I guess the 3 guards, like I'm including Booker as like the guard, but like let's be real, Booker was like kind of like a wing, like he was kind of like just kind of acting as like the small forward. So yeah, it was rough. Like I understand where there was less minutes for Tatum for sure. Like yeah, you have KD and LeBron, so 2 generational players, and then you have Tatum, who's obviously very good and just won a championship. But like I get it, I just still think that he should have gotten minutes. Like yeah. KD as well, and actually he does. Oh yeah, KD is the best of the best internationally. Yeah, respect this new area. Hot Cheetos and cheese Cheetos. You pick one. I'm going hot. You think Brian won Rookie of the Year? No, Delbert. My pick for Rookie of the Year, by the way. So if you want to know all my awards, so I set them on. So some of them were. Like I think I'm remembering it was the first post game of the regular season for the Bulls, so it was after the Pelicans game. I gave you guys my awards, okay, my award predictions. I then in the pregame stream I gave you my standings predictions. So if just so that you know, like I don't like flip or anything. Like I did that just to like tell you like, hey, here are my awards. So it's also written out on my phone. But I told you guys my award predictions just so like I can't like go and change it like on my phone. Like, see, I predicted it, right? Like I don't want that to happen, right? So my pick for Rookie of the Year was Stephon Castle. I'm kind of betting that 1, that Zach Edey doesn't play as well, but then 2, the top picks don't really get as much run. Risa Shea just had one hell of a game though, so props to him. But I picked Stephon Castle because I was thinking that the Spurs were gonna kind of they're like, yeah, they got Chris Paul, and so it's like, oh, he's gonna take his minutes, but we've seen Chris Paul play with, you know, other point guards before, so it was we've seen Chris Paul play next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we've seen Chris Paul play next to Dennis Schroeder, so I thought that maybe there'd be a lot of lineups out there for San Antonio where you just run both Castle and Paul. And so I just thought it was just gonna be I just picked him just because I thought it was more fun, because everyone kind of was like, yeah, it's gonna be Zach Edey because he's like the favored, and I'm like, I agree that I think he probably the best chance just because of the position he's in, but I was like, I want to go with something different. I'm going Ben Simmons. Yeah. I recall your words. I appreciate it. I'm still back in dice for most improved in RJ Barrett for my second pick. I would agree. Like, yeah, I think Dyson Daniels should be the guy right now for sure. He probably shot Rookie of the Year. No. If Bronny wins Rookie of the Year, or even gets a vote, then whoever voted for him needs to be fired. And then, if this, I don't know, they gotta make a review process of who actually gets in the vote. Yeah. Let's actually check in on some of this other. I didn't check in on any other games, by the way. I know that some games are happening. Did the Nuggets win this game? Because then the Thunder finally suffered their first loss. Wow. So the Nuggets did win this one. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to go look at what happened here, but I mean, this is a much worse game from Chet than I think we all expected. Man, Caruso is having a ridiculously bad starts to the season in terms of shooting. Yeah, so 23 and 14% coming into this game. That's just... Ugh. Let's see. Wow. Okay, so they won this game with no Jamal Murray. Russell Westbrook became prime Russell Westbrook again. Oh yeah, and they're without Aaron Gordon also. Like he suffered that injury. Oh my god. How the hell did the Nuggets win tonight? It was honestly just that Westbrook like turned back the clock. Christian Brown scored 24. Like that's insane. Are you kidding? That does not make any sense. Now moving over to your list, I think. Yeah, I think you should be. Yeah. You see the first 2 minutes of the Hawks game, you see Dyson is so good on D. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't watch that one, but yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. By the way, the Knicks are 3-3, right? The Knicks are 3-3. Oh my god. I don't know what the hell, man. So I know that one of their losses is that bad Boston loss, but no, they're 3-4 now. Oh my god, they're worse. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. I'll shut up. Westbrook's just that good. I mean, Westbrook's had a really bad start to the year, though. Like he's had some bad games, but wow, yeah. J-Dub has much higher success in clutch moments, and Shea slows down too much. Really? Okay. I don't know if the numbers did the numbers back that up. That I would still put it. I would trust Shea, but I know J-Dub's hit some crazy shots. That Brown up a bit when he punished for them. Oh, okay. So they actually hit some threes, right? So, you know, this is kind of the big thing right now. The issue for the Nuggets that they're not shooting enough threes. And, like, they got away with it because Jokic and Murray were doing so well. But without Murray, right, and if he's just not himself, they need to shoot more threes, for sure. Westbrook going 3 for 4 from three-point range is a very good sign. Hopefully that continues for him. But he has not had a good start to the year shooting. He's had some rough games. So... yeah, so I mean, he came into tonight's game shooting 35 and 28%. Like that, it's been a rough go initially for Westbrook, but yeah, he did enough. If the Bulls start winning, Buzelis catches some posters now, which is at least 13 points per game. We'll see. I don't really think it's gonna happen, unfortunately. I know a lot of Bulls fans really want Buzelis to go and get that Rookie of the Year, but it's rough. Yeah. Russ is weird. He's got to be the most bad and great player at the same time. Shoots you out of it one game, wins it for you the next. Yeah. So in Westbrook's prime, I have always said that like yeah, he does sometimes take some like, you know, unnecessary shots, but in the end, I do think that everything that he did was overall a very positive. Like, you know, him going with triple doubles. Like the people that say he didn't deserve. You know, the MVP I think are ridiculous. Like I think Westbrook very clearly deserved the MVP in my opinion. And you know, his triple doubles, like I don't necessarily think it was just like it was like oh stat padding. Like it was pretty effective in the end. But now though, because obviously, you know, he's end of his career and like towards the end of his career, less athleticism, but he's coming from he's a smallish guard with insane athleticism. So like his downfall is like not as bad as others, but he did rely on athleticism, so it's hurting him a little bit more. But he is, you know, again, like because if you start at like such a high peak of athleticism and like you go down, you'll be a little bit better spot than others because you started with so much athleticism, right? But I do think now it is definitely like he's gonna either keep you in a game or he's gonna somehow, you know, outshoot, like he's gonna shoot you out of a game. Teams just leave him open from three. They're willing to foul him because he's not the greatest free throw shooter, right? So yeah, I do agree that it's gonna be interesting just to kind of look at him, because he's also not the greatest defender. When he does try defensively, like, he can be decent, but like, he's not the greatest thing in the world on defense. So yeah, I'll be interested to watch, because I did think overall it was a fine pickup by the Nuggets, but it wasn't like it was anything spectacular. And he's gonna come and win like 6th man of the year, right? I actually thought Westbrook's role with the Clippers made a lot of sense for him for where he is now as a player, right? Because obviously, he's declined a lot, but surrounding him with a bunch of shooters and letting him just kind of come off the bench and just dictate a lot of pace, so I thought was a really good thing. But obviously, he left Clippers. Once just as a bench player, he needs to warm up his engine. That's gonna be rough then, because I personally would not start Westbrook, throughout the entire year. Still not Viper Strike, by the way. I Cavs side, so I'm pleased with how it's all starting out rankings wise. Yeah, you're right about the Cavs so far. I'm shocked, man. They're 9-0. I cannot believe that they're shocked. They're 9-0. Like, they've legitimately shocked me with how well they played. Cancel cooldown. I don't know, man. I like getting off to this such a big start. Like, yeah, like they're not gonna go 82-0, but like getting off to this great of a start, like, they may cool down, but it might not look like a big cooldown, because if they go and win one more game, guys, they're 10 games over 500. Like, that's insane. Like, the fact that when you would lose your first game, like if they started 10-0 and they lost a game, then they're 9 games over 500. Like, that's insane to think about. So I feel like that they're like, they may cool down, but they're in like a really good spot right now, because the rest of the East right now is not looking great. Like, I mean, we have two teams that are over 500. We have everyone else is either 500 or lower. Like, that's how bad the East has done so far compared to the West. Plus 7 to Ben Simmons is highly offensively. It's easy for that kind of player, physical player, to fall off hard. Oh yeah, because he doesn't have a jump shot either. Like, or Westbrook's jump shot is inconsistent. It's better than obviously Ben Simmons, but yeah. So one knows where people score from and how breakdowns for who's most similar to LeBron, and Russell's closer to Simmons than LeBron. That's fairly sure. Oh, I completely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, like, Westbrook is absolutely just all about, like, I'm going full speed at you with no hesitation, and then I can leap like so high that I'm so light because I'm a smaller guard, but he's also like 200 pounds, so he is quick as lightning. He can leap of the best of them, and he can absolutely finish with the best. Like, he is so strong when it came to his finishing, that it was just a perfect match when he's right, when he has that prime athleticism. But obviously now he's nowhere near that, right? He's lost a little bit. So yeah, like, the fact that he doesn't have a jump shot, like, he's not a guy that can really work off ball, it's harder on him, right? So yeah, I don't know how the Nuggets really going to work with him throughout the year. It'll be interesting, but I hope he can find a way to still be effective, because I've always been a fan of Westbrook. As much as criticism he's gotten, I've always loved him. Yeah, even I would say that there are times where he takes some crazy shots, but I've always loved him. I will always love him. And for all the people questioning, like, he will for 100 million% be a Hall of Famer. I hate that people even have to question it. And yeah. Delbert, are you a Linkin Park fan? Butler is the spoiler, was statistically similar to LeBron and not a shot. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, Butler is very similar to LeBron. He's super weak, so them and the Knicks are the only real ones that might hurt the Celtics. Hurt the Celtics free run to the freshman finals. Yeah, the fact that Philly is off to such a horrific start because no Paul George and obviously no Embiid for a while. Milwaukee's off to their ridiculously bad start. I don't know. Like, you might be right. Like, it might just be over for those two teams, and so it's Cleveland and Boston. And if the Knicks can figure out their crap, because they're now 3-4, which they probably shouldn't be 3-4. So here we go. Those bodies off to perimeter movements remind me of MJ. I've always been yeah. I also love I love Donovan Mitchell. I hate to brag because I told people Donovan Mitchell was gonna be good. Now I always do want to make this clear, like this isn't like me like bragging, because like I've gotten many draft picks wrong, like Marvin Bagley, right? But I did say to people though, like Mitchell's gonna be a good player. I did not think though that he'd become an all-star. I did not think he was gonna be that good. Like I thought he'd be like a really either like a really solid starter, but or like a six man that could like really come in and be effective. But the fact that he's now an all-star, I'm very happy that he became it, because he's very fun to watch. But yeah, it's crazy to me. I can't believe that he became an all-star. Westbrook beats and tries all the time, so that's good. Yeah. That is the thing with Westbrook. Like he is always trying at 110%. It's just sometimes he he tries a little too hard and it goes wrong. Maybe Magic's the 4th pick moved up a spot or two. I won't lie, bro. Without Banchero, man, Banchero's out for a while. I don't feel good at all about the Magic right now. Like I have a little faith right now in the Magic to get like a higher seed, because Banchero's missing a lot of time. I guess the good news is that the East just sucks, so that they'll have time, but that's assuming that everyone just kind of stays kind of bunched up here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have much faith. Yeah, pause. Like, yeah, I would agree with you, Charles. Like, if Banchero was healthy, then I would also probably be like, yeah, I'm moving him up here. But yeah, because he's missing so much time, and it's also an oblique injury. Like that oblique injuries scare me, because I don't know, I'm White Sox. I have White Sox trauma, but oblique injuries are just like they're I've seen so many times where a player has an oblique injury and it's like they're fine, and then the oblique injury happens and they try to come back when they feel like they've recovered fully, and then they hurt it again because it's not really fully healed, and that is just, that's scary to me. So yeah, I'm worried for the Magic, unfortunately, for this year. But I mean, it's crazy though, because now like the Bulls are 3-5 and now are the 8th seed, tied with Charlotte, and so Miami, like I won't lie, Butler and Bam haven't exactly looked the best, but I know Miami always coasts. Like Miami is always, they always have coasted to they've always coasted in the regular season, but I know that they'll play better in the playoffs or the play-in or whatever. I mean, I don't think Brooklyn's gonna stay like this. Like Brooklyn's not a 500 team. The funny thing is that I was making fun of the Pacers the last time we streamed, and now they're back. They're now 3rd because they just beat whoever they just beat. Who they beat tonight? Oh, they beat the Magic tonight. Okay, well, before that though, I think they beat Luka on Sunday. No, that wasn't Luka. Who did they beat? Oh, they did beat Luka on Monday. Okay, so they beat Luka and the Mavericks on Monday, but that was the second even back-to-back though for the Mavericks. So yeah, so I was making fun of the Pacers, saying that I think that they might actually be bad, and then suddenly now they're 4-4. So yeah, that was a bad prediction on my part. But like the thing is though, is if you're wondering like why is the East so bad, like look at this. Like the West is stacked at the moment. Like the Suns, Thunder, and Warriors are all 7-1. The Warriors won tonight in Boston, by the way, which is that the fact that the Warriors won in Boston, I'm worried Jaylen Brown didn't play, but Jason Tatum, Derek White, Andrew Holiday, and Al Horford were all available tonight. So it's mind-boggling to me that somehow the Warriors did this. But the Warriors right now, yeah, they're 7-1. The Rockets look actually pretty decent. Like, and obviously the Nuggets, you know, we know that Jokic is still Jokic. Like, this is crazy. It's honestly crazy because right now the New Orleans Pelicans, like, they're 3-6 and they're 14th. Like, yeah, it's just crazy because like the Bulls, basically, if you're wondering where the Bulls would be, they'd be here, right? Because the Bulls are 3-5, they'd be down here right now with San Antonio and the Trailblazers. But yeah, it's insane. The West is so stacked. So like that is, I guess, one prediction I did get right, at least for the start of the season. I'm like, I said the West is gonna be extremely stacked. And I'm just gonna beat up on the Eastern Conference teams, and it's happening so far. It's even worse if you go plus minus for teams East and West. Really, IGL plus minus for a team is a better early guy than win losses in season. West crushes more. Oh my god, really? Yikes. Yeah, Delbert, by the way, yeah. Rip Chester. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. Yeah, I usually listen to rap, but Linkin Park has some raw, yeah. No, I'm probably just a mainstream fan. I understand that, yeah. I'm excited for the new album. I can't wait. It's coming out on the 15th. So I can't wait for the new album to drop. I've said it many times here. I wish I could just play all the songs on stream, but I can't. I know I'll immediately get demonetized. Sorry, I gotta close out tabs because it's slow here. Okay. Let's just look at this. Okay, so the top plus minus teams: Warriors, Thunder. Okay, 2 out west. Cavaliers, Celtics, the two best teams in the East so far. West, East, West, East. Okay, well, either way though, we're looking at the top 13. We have 3 teams from the East and 10 teams from the West. That's insane. Yeah. Oh my god. Like Charles, you're actually right, man. Like this is insane just to look at. I mean, like even the Lakers right now. They got off to that hot start, and like now that you know they're -4, but like okay, I thought I moved chat to a better spot, and that didn't help me. Hold on, I'm just gonna decrease chat size. But yeah, like this is just ugh. Lakers and Hornets are better than us. How? The Lakers had some better, like, you know, overall better wins. Like they got to some like really nice wins to start the year. Then they've kind of fallen back. Like they've kind of come back down to earth. So that's the reason why their plus minus is kind of a little bit more evened out for them, but they're still -4. The Bulls, obviously, like we're talking about just even the Utah Jazz loss where we lost by double digits. Like we've had our losses have been a lot by double digits. So hence this, and then our wins have typically been like closer overall. So our plus minus is just gonna be worse than the Lakers in the end. For Charlotte, I mean, it basically Charlotte and us are basically the same. Like -6.4, -6 is just basically the same. The overperforming teams also have worse plus minus 2, Bulls at 2, etc. Yeah. Like, let's see. So Brooklyn right now. So Brooklyn is like dead honestly is dead even. Like their plus minus is pretty much just like 0. So they've been basically a 500 team. Let's see here. But the fact that I'm just shocked, like, the one that's shocking to me is this. Like, how is Atlanta's 4 and 5 and they're minus? Okay, I guess you know, early in the year, we're not gonna be too critical. Yeah, honestly, this is a good thing to look at, Charles, because it's just like yeah. So West. It's just like, okay, the top 2 teams in the East, West. It's just, that's insane. I honestly cannot believe that the Western Conference teams are all just that much better towards the plus minus. Dice was out a few games, they got trash in those. Okay. So it's the same thing for the Hawks then, where like for the Bulls, where it's just they've had some close wins, and then their L's have just been horrific or just bad. Like so today they won by 5 tonight, right? So then let's see their L's. Okay, so yeah, a 24-point loss, a 2-point loss, a 13-point loss, an 8-point loss, and then a 30-point. Oh, okay, they played the Celtics. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Yeah, that makes sense. Need an extra defender pair with Young that plays off ball, etc. Yeah, they're definitely not the perfect team. Yeah, but hey, beating the Knicks is no joke. I won't lie. I just don't know what the Knicks are doing. The Knicks, this team with the Knicks is just be so interesting to watch all season because like, I want to have faith that like Jalen Brunson's gonna have the same year as he did last year. I don't. Mikal Bridges, I like, there is so much pressure for this guy to perform well, and I don't know. Like, I'm having some doubts about it. Like, yeah, is he gonna really come out and like actually perform consistently well? He fixed his shot, by the way, if you're wondering. Like, he's gotten his shot back, so the whole preseason fiasco about his shots, you know, that's no longer an issue. So yeah, just want to point that out. But yeah, the next man, like, I feel like Tibbs really didn't like Cat, and now that Tibbs is coaching Cat again, I just think it's very funny. Automatically, though, you're seeing the Tibbs effect, if you're wondering. Like, this is Tibbs. This is, you know, the guy's going to play as many minutes as possible. But the fact that they gave 121 points to the Atlanta Hawks, that just doesn't seem like, that's not Tibbs like. Trey, 7, okay. Dyson Daniels did not have that great of shooting night, but obviously defense. Yeah, and then Reese Shea had this line. Like, this is a special stat line for a rookie, apparently. Like, no rookie has ever had this stat line in an NBA game before, apparently. I don't know if that's real or not, but I did see that. I think first half guarded by Dyson are similar. Chet might win to player of the year, and he's amazing there, but it's more of a team effort. Dyson doing with Reese and Johnson's the next best defenders. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but hey, whether the West is better than the East. Well, I think unfortunately, Delbert, I feel like that it's been that way for like a long time. Like, there's obviously been like, I think a little bit more like I guess more recent. It's been kind of more even, but it has really swayed back to the West is like the better conference now, and I think it changes year to year. Like, obviously this year, you know, like the Bucks suddenly just look dead, right? That's something that we all didn't expect, right? Like the Bucks just to suddenly die. Which I know you, Charles, said that like you expected the Bucks to be worse. I personally did not expect the Bucks to be this bad. And again, we're talking like the Eastern Conference is bad, and the Bucks are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference right now. Like that, I did not expect this to happen. Like the fact that we're here, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, is insane. Like, this is a horrific Eastern Conference right now, and the Bucks are at the dead last spot. Like, it's insane. The 76ers have not had Embiid yet, so like I'm not gonna like fully judge them, but the fact that they're 1-6 to start is not a great start. And they have to go and find a way to recover from that is not looking great for them. So, yeah. But after that, though, like, you're contenders, right? Like, the Celtics are obviously the best team in the East, but you expect the Milwaukee and Philadelphia and then maybe Cleveland, right? It looks like Cleveland might be the contender this year, but after that, like, you're hoping that the Magic could get better, but there was unknown, right? All right, actually, I forgot about the Knicks. Excuse me. The Knicks are supposed to be the contender, but they made a whole bunch of trades. Like, their team that got the 2 seed last year is completely different this year. The Knicks should be better, like you would think in theory, but yeah, like it just, you know, timing of injuries, and then, you know, Banchero not being here right now. It just, the East just looks like, yeah, if we play the Eastern Conference team, we're just gonna go beat them up, you know. Would be nice if it was balanced. Bucks and 76ers falling off a big part, and KD, Kyrie moving west. Yeah, that's also the thing. Like, KD and Kyrie moving out west was a huge part of it. Yeah, so that also did happen, and it's just like, man, a lot of talent is out west. Sometimes it just lands there, just, you know, without them like actually deciding that. I mean, like Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, like Shea, they all started out west. They didn't like, obviously Shea switched teams, but they just started out there. Like, that's just how it went. You know, same thing with Jokic, same thing with Morant, same thing with Booker. Like, just how it goes. Man, I only bet on Bucks going like 0.5 area, so this is worse. Okay, yeah, like, it's crazy, right? The fact that the Milwaukee Bucks right now, and I know they don't have Chris Middleton, but he ain't coming back anytime soon, that they're 1-6 at this moment. Like, it's insane that we're here, but they're 1-6. So they got to pull Cleveland Cavaliers to save their season, right? They got to go 9-0 or something. LeBron, KD, Kyrie, and Harden in the East. We were the best. I think you could argue then that there were more better teams in the East, yeah. But it was only for a brief period of time, right? It didn't last very long. When I first started watching the NBA, 2012, 2013 era, like, yeah, the West was always the better conference. Like, it's been that way. I'm still salty that Knicks broke up Villanova boys. At least that would have been fun. That would have been fun, yeah. I won't lie, man. That cat trade, I really, like, I knew the Timberwolves needed to get rid of, or move on from Cat. Like, not get rid of, but, like, just move on from him. Due to money issues, but that, I don't know about it for the Knicks, man. I have less faith right now in the Knicks than I did last season, right, at this current moment in time. It's probably gonna work out the other way around, but I just, that trade just makes me feel iffy. Not to mention then trading 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. Like, that also doesn't make me feel great. Props to the Knicks for going for broke, but, like, I don't feel great about it at the moment. Last season, even one division in the West with Denver and OKC, etc., was better than the best of the East. Probably. Oh, I agree. Yeah. West was better for, yeah. The West, like, it since I say, like, it's been like a decade since I've watched the NBA. Like, I've watched the NBA since like 2013-14 season was like my first year of like fully watching. I started watching the 2012-13 season though, but ever since then, it's been, the Western Conference has always been better. It's always been better. There have been moments where it's like the East has kind of come up and been better, but no, for my time, it's always been the West has just been better. Yeah, makes sense. There's been a lot of talent in the West. I will say that having the Texas teams, kind of the Texas teams out west, it's interesting because the Bulls are out east, right? Same time zone, but that's the way they decided it. Wolves 2, same division. That's 3 big teams grouped tightly. Yeah. Really quickly, like, I don't really look at divisions anymore because it's like, why, but I mean, the Southeast division right now, they're all under 500. That's insane. I mean, the Magic really shouldn't be 3-6, but they lost Banchero, so it's really not their fault. But I mean, Northwest division, 7-1, 5-3, 4-3, like, insane. Pacific division, 7-1, 7-1, 5-3, 500, like, I mean, even here you got 3 teams over 500. Like, the divisions just look different. It's just it's a completely different conference. Yeah. All right. Enough talk about that. Okay. So I did want to go long tonight because tomorrow. So the Bulls do play tomorrow. All right. I'm just gonna let you guys know that as of this current moment in time, I'm gonna go ahead and say there's no stream tomorrow. I kind of need kind of like a day off in a sense. I've done a lot of work recently. Also though, I'm gonna be with my guys on Thursday. I'm gonna be with my friends. So I can't like fully watch the Bulls game, and I don't want to give you just a analysis where I didn't fully watch a Bulls game. So tomorrow the Bulls do play. They're at the United Center. They're gonna be playing against the Timberwolves. Unfortunately, I do think this is what I would call a scheduled L. The Bulls just played in Dallas, and then you have to go fly back to Chicago and play another Western Conference contender. The good news, though, if you're wondering if the Bulls could win this game, is that the Stars didn't play that many minutes tonight. None of them were in the 30s, so they should be a little bit more fresher compared to the game against Oklahoma City. So, and in the end, though, I think the Bulls should just lose this. By the way, I did finally add to my prediction score. I finally got another game right. I said that the Bulls should lose against Dallas, and they did. So I'm no longer cursed apparently, but we'll see about this game against the Timberwolves here. So I'm predicting another L for the Bulls on Thursday. Once again, right now there will be no post game stream. That could change, but as of this current moment in time, there's gonna be no post game stream. I do need to I kind of need to take this one off and be with my friends who I haven't seen in a bit. So yeah, just letting you guys know. So I do apologize about that, but I sincerely appreciate all the support that you've given me through the first for the preseason into the regular season so far. So I really do appreciate it. Now, after that, so then the next time I'll be seeing you guys on this channel will be on Saturday. So on Saturday, the Bulls will be in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. So then stream should be planned for 9 p.m. Central Time after this game. So I will be seeing you guys then. So I'll be seeing you guys on Saturday, and we'll see how the Bulls do against Atlanta, because I do think Atlanta is better. And we'll see what does happen. If I had to make a prediction, I think Zach LaVine will be back tomorrow. It kind of sounded like he was sounding fine. I know that he's now missed 2 games with the adductor issue, and then obviously, we're at to pay attention to his shoulder. But I mean, he looked fine against Brooklyn, so with the shoulder issue. So the adductor is kind of the thing that I'm most concerned about. But it sounded like he should be back for this Minnesota game. So we'll see if he is back. If not, then I'm gonna probably guess he is back in against Atlanta. Lonzo Ball is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. I don't expect him to have any sort of update with him. There's no reason I don't even think, to have a good Lonzo Ball update. Honestly, I just want Lonzo just to make sure this, before he plays again, his wrist is fully healed, because if there's any chance of him potentially re-injuring it or making it worse and then he needs season-ending surgery, just don't even think about it. Just get it fully healed, and we'll worry about you coming back on the court once it's fully healed. But if not, then let's just relax then. So yeah, for sure. Thanks for the hard work, Grace. I appreciate it, Delbert. Thank you for all for being here. I know it's a late night and we still have people in the stream, so I know it's in the middle of the work week as well. So I really do appreciate you guys all being here. It's been a lot of fun. I've been having a ton of fun with the streams, and of course now we're effing as I'm ending stream here. My frames are dropping, but the stream should still be on here. Yeah, I sincerely appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun start this year. And then, I'm just taking this one day off just because I'm going to be with my friends. And then I've had a long work week, so I need to catch up on some sleep. I've had a lot of long days. Also, I will admit, man, the election thing, I'm still upset with the election results. I'm not happy about it, but I won't talk about that anymore. So yeah, just kind of a little bit of a reset for me. Good news is I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling sick or anything. So I know Zay over came in and said I sound stuffy. I might sound stuffy, but I'm feeling good. So just making sure I just stick with my friends here. And we know Kobe goes on and off, and so maybe an ending game, yeah. Dude, the world is more upset than the U.S. is. Yeah, half the U.S., or I guess not even half the U.S. is upset, but yeah, most of the world is upset. Yeah. All right, I know that we won't be talking about this anymore, though. Obviously, I don't want to be talking about the election on here. All right. One more time, though, thank you. Just a big thank you to you guys. It's been a lot of fun to just come out here and just be chatting up late night. For at least, for us in the, in Central Time Zone era, it's late night for us. So I truly do appreciate it. If you have not already, hit the like button on the stream. It helps me out a ton. Please do, whether you're watching right now or watching the VOD. Please hit the like button on the stream. Helps me out a lot here. And yeah, Bulls bad L tonight, but even that being said, we still had 60 people come in here. So it's been a lot of fun. No matter, even if it's a bad L. For the Bulls, because I already know that with Bulls fans, if it's a bad L, there's less people willing to come and want to talk about the game, because no one wants to talk about a bad L. But I appreciate you guys still coming in here. All right, I'm gonna head out, get some sleep, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. All right, peace.